Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Week 5 in the NFL kicked off last night in Los Angeles. The 49ers improved to 4-1 with a 26-23 overtime win over the LA Rams. Niners defense turned the Rams over twice in regulation, then stuffed LA on 4th down in overtime. Week 5 continues Sunday in London. The Browns battle the Vikings at 9:30. Dylan Gabriel's going to start at quarterback for Cleveland. You can hear that game Sunday morning with pregame coverage at 8 o'clock. In college football, number 1 Ohio State hosts Minnesota tomorrow night at 7:30. It's homecoming for the Buckeyes, who are 23.5-point favorites. Hear that game on the Fan with pregame coverage tomorrow morning at noon. Tomorrow at noon, I should say. In baseball Thursday, the Tigers eliminated the Guardians with a 6-3 win in Game 3 of their AL Wildcard Series. Detroit's at Seattle tomorrow in Game 1 of the ALDS. This update is sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmeries joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Well, we didn't do that right. We didn't put the
Do you
bells
want to start?
in.
I'm not.
Do we need to do this over?
We got to start over? Like, I'm not starting with that bad mojo on a football Friday.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure.
Okay, yeah.
Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. When William T. Sherman
We're gonna
was
get
to
this
the
right.
Union Army, he is to Northern College football.
That's true.
Like Billy Tecumseh,
and
big
middling
fan.
youth
He's right
sports
here.
coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with
They're
us right
saying
now.
that.
Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show.
Tim May,
Doug
legend.
Lesmeries
Yeah,
joining us.
Hi, everybody.
Yep,
Dom
sure.
Barry here.
Oh, Reese
Okay,
came
no.
in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000."
Which one was he trying to get? Do you remember?
Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
None of them.
The one that says
He just was confused by all of
The
them.
budget on this imaging,
buttons.
and only 2 guys
Which
answered
I can
our ad
understand.
on
There's a lot over here.
Ryan Baker.
You guys were
and
curated. There was no Craigslist. You were chosen amongst
Eric Reeser.
an army of millions
Act
who applied.
accordingly. You're
What a
now
lie.
listening to Bishop and Friends.
That's better.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller,
Wouldn't have
your
it any
true
other way, they're the
jeweler
best.
for over 75 years.
Let it breathe. Enjoy yourselves. Okay. Oh, baby, let's do it live on a Football Friday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. How about this? On a Football Friday, Jake Diebler going to join us at 9:45. You have that to look forward to. 10 o'clock, learned and earned in college football. 10:30, the legend himself, Tim May, will join as is customary. 11 o'clock, we hit you with the scores. When we come to the scores portion, pay attention to everything Bake does, because he is on a college football heater the first month, the likes of which we've rarely seen. It is very possible, in fact, very likely that you can put your kids through college just following his bets. So find whatever you're going to pay for the mortgage, find whatever you're going to pay on the car loans, student loans, whatever your debt is, forget that. Just put it into Bake's bets, and you can get rich too. So you do that at 11 o'clock when we pay attention to the scores, and then Doug joins at 11:30. Did you take a look this week at what you're getting into? Where are you at? How do you feel confident about it, Bake? Where you're at? You were like 10-1 last week.
Yeah, we've had a good 2 weeks in a row here.
That's right. That's right.
I've looked at it. I feel pretty confident in what we've got. I feel like I've got some reasonings why. But listen, blind squirrel gets nuts every once in a while. It could
Not
come
a month's
crashing
worth.
down. It could come crashing down.
Dude, blind squirrels don't get nuts for a month. That's hunter squirrels. You're an apex predator squirrel is what you are, my friend.
Yeah, but I'm getting old. The vision's getting bad, so.
Just get better weapons. Like the line in Tombstone where he goes, you can't hit anything, you're drunk. And he goes, well, I got 2 guns. There's 2 of you, 1 for each of you, or however he said it. I butchered the line, but he's got 2 guns, 1 for each of you. That's the great line from Doc Holliday in that one. Look, we started this week talking about how the Buckeye performance against Washington, when you considered all of it, was pretty close to perfect. I thought defensively it was. I don't know if you could expect anything more out of a defense. And a lot of folks around the country have given this defense its flowers over the course of this week. Now, Matt Patricia, James Laurinaitis, Larry Johnson, Matt Guerreri, all those guys, Tim Wall, all those guys, they're going to view that as rat poison. They don't want to hear it. But the reality is this is the best defense in America. So then you flip it to the other side and you say, well, it's pretty dang efficient offensively either. As well. And it feels like what Ohio State is doing this year, and we talked about this on Monday, and just needs to be hit throughout the week, is they are playing the long game here. They understand that this is going to be a 16-game schedule, 16-game season. Their goal is to repeat as national champions. I think they're the best team in America right now, and I think they're the team with the highest ceiling. So all of those factors are working in their favor. I think they're better earlier than most thought that they would. And I think if you're looking for things with them, it is the definition of nitpick is what it is, because they are winning the surest way possible week in and week out. They're going to win tomorrow night. They're going to win. They're going to beat Minnesota. It's 24.5, I think. I'm not sure if it'll get there because that's not really what the goal is here. The goal here is not bing, bong, bong, you're fired, Ed, offense. That's not what it is. The goal here is get through the game the surest way possible and on to the next. And the cool thing about it, I think, is that when you look at this schedule, you go back to that line we had on Monday about perfect. This schedule is pretty perfect when you think about it. We identified it pretty early in terms of starting with Texas, attention getter, Grambling, practicing on air a little bit, Ohio, quality, step up. At Washington, massive test. Really good team, one of the toughest places to play. A little bit of a downturn, Minnesota this week. A little bit of an upturn, Illinois. Then at Wisconsin. Down, but cool environment, perhaps. Perhaps Luke's last stand is what that one will be. And then what do you get? You get Penn State here. That will have your full attention. Then, as you come out of what will be pretty close to a Talents Equates operation when Penn State plays Ohio State, then you're talking about at Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers. That, to me, feels like whatever is sore, whatever is aching, can get right for those 3 weeks, because that is just pure. There's just nothing there to fear with Purdue, UCLA, and Rutgers. And then what do you get? You're at Michigan to end the season. The Big Ten this year with Ohio State, from Ryan Day's perspective, not necessarily from ours, because I would much rather see them play Oregon and play USC and play those type of teams, or even Iowa. But in order for them to do what their ultimate goal is, if I'm Ryan Day, this schedule's about perfect. There are these benchmark matchups throughout the season. You got one right away. You're going to get one perhaps next week at Illinois, a little bit of a tester, then Penn State here, and then, of course, you finish with Michigan. At Washington right in there, too. It's about every 2 or 3 weeks, you better pay attention. And if you're Ryan Day and you're dealing with guys like me saying your defense is played perfect against Washington and you're the best team in college football right now and you have the highest ceiling in college football right now, that's what you need. You need something every couple weeks that you can really get your attention to. I love that tomorrow night's at night. You're going to get some juice from that, just like they did in the Ohio game. That place was pretty juiced up for the Ohio game. You're going to have some juice tomorrow night with Minnesota coming to town. So while it's not everything I would want in a schedule, and God knows November is going to be brutal up until you get to the game because you're all just going to be waiting for the game, the reality is that if you're Ryan Day, this schedule's damn near perfect.
Yeah, I do wonder if I don't think he'd have 2 buys. I do think that it'll be, I don't know how much they'll put into having Wisconsin and then a bye before the Penn State game, but that does allow you to, if there are aches and pains and it's football and you'll be through 2 months of the season, there will be aches and pains that you think you can heal up on before Penn State comes to town. But then, the month of November, it does feel like, actually October and November are going to be very similar, I think, from an offensive attack. Is grind it out. get reps, build your quarterback bit by bit over the weeks, and then unleash things starting on the 29th and make a similar bombing of your opponents in the Big Ten championship game and then in the college football playoff. Like, then you really start to rev up that offense starting November 29th. Because then you got November 29th to January 19th. That's your season.
That's it, yeah.
Bo, you've been on this for a while, right? You've said this since the beginning.
Yeah.
You liked how this schedule plays out, and it is nice, right? You get the big game against Texas. Then you get a couple games to kind of see what you got, really open it up a little bit, see what Julian can handle, see what he can't, see what this young team can handle, what they can't. Get a guy like Bo Jackson in there. We know this guy might be the future. Let's see what he's got. Yep, he is the future. Then we get a bye week and we go on a big road test, first one of the year. You get that underway, then you come home, homecoming. You're going to get it at night. That's nice. And you take on Minnesota, who, just a little foreshadowing of the scores, I feel like this game with Minnesota feels a lot like the Ohio game to me. I feel like we've got a similar outcome this week with this one. Then a nice test next week on the road at Illinois. You kind of see, similar to that Washington test, a tough place to play, a team that's a pretty good team. Probably a team that's definitely a top 25 team, ranked right now 22. Maybe a team that's a little higher. And you kind of get, okay, let's work on some things with Wisconsin. If there's anything we need to get ready for Penn State, we'll take a bye, and then we'll have a big one with the Nittany Lions. And it's perfect. It does work out very nicely for them.
Is this coaching staff going to want to bomb Penn State with Jim Knowles?
I'm sure they'll want to, but I also don't want to live in a world where we act like Penn State isn't good just because they can't beat top 10 teams. They're really good. He can't beat top 10 teams. So they're going to come here and lose, but at the same point, that's a talent equates game. Like, if you watch drafts, last few NFL drafts, you pay attention to next year's NFL draft, Penn State's got dudes. They've got talent. They can't coach it. They get squirrely. Like first half last week, a bunch of gimmicky nonsense in the first half that's not necessary. You got 2 NFL backs, just run them, or so we're told. Just run them. That's it. So no, I think that you've got on the schedule, you have 2 talent equate games left. You got Penn State and you got Michigan. And then if you just imagine if this goes the way that I think it's going to go, and it's Ohio State, Oregon in the Big Ten championship, if you're Lanning and Day, don't you just say, can we cut this thing in half? And I'll see you down the road.
We split it?
Why would you want to play that game? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy to be able to do that. So the schedule sets up very well for them. Oh, by the way, I was on with Brother Bone and Nephew Tyvis, and they were saying that they hit me with this Mo Bamba thing. I did not know that was the name of the song, but I'm very familiar with that song.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that was the name of it. But that's played at every college football stadium on repeat. I didn't realize it had so much cursing in it because I've only heard it in the video game and at college football stadiums. So in the middle of the hit with them, I started playing it. And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh.
It's very, very profanity-laced. Yeah,
which is probably how you felt yesterday, Reese, around 6, what was it, about 5:30?
It was rough. It was a rough afternoon.
We'll get into that. It was a fun sports night, unless you were a Guardians fan. That didn't go particularly well. We will get into that. Jake Diebler coming up in a half hour. You'll hear from Ryan Day, PJ Fleck coming up at 9:30. We're off and running on a Football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
James Laurinaitis here from my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been been family owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located at Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman here for Germain Honda of Dublin. So what's the difference? There are other Honda dealers around. Well, Rich Newsom and his team want to earn your trust. They don't expect it, and they earn it by giving you a great price, and then they back it up after the sale with same-day service, no appointment necessary, a great variety of brand-new Hondas, and hundreds of pre-owned certified Hondas to choose from, all at the same location. Identify yours at GermainHondaofDublin.com. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone here for Window Nation. We have had some good weather over this fall. It's been mostly warm, but sooner or later, it's going to get cold. Maybe you're already starting to feel it in your house because your old drafty windows are letting in that air. Could be the builder grade windows that just came with your house. You thought you were getting great windows. Turns out they weren't as good as you thought. That's where Window Nation can help. This month, you can buy 2 windows and you'll get 2 more for free. There is no limit to how many windows you replace. Plus, your total price includes 1-day installation. Window Nation also has a deal where you don't have to make any payments for 2 years. Is that going to help out with your holiday bills a little bit? I would think so. And above and beyond all that, Window Nation also is giving away tickets to an Ohio State football game when you upgrade your home with Window Nation windows. Free windows, 0 payments for 2 years, all with Window Nation. Go to windownation.com. The estimate is free, the windows are great, and you can get Ohio State tickets. What's not to love? Go to windownation.com today. Once again, that's windownation.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Morning Juice, real football talk. Just 2 guys who aren't afraid to say what needs to be said.
And that's how she wrote.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Now streaming mornings on YouTube and 10 TV Plus. Attack and dominate.
Every day, farmers rise before the sun and put everything they have into a job so few can do. Their courage, resilience, and relentless work shape the legacies and future of our country. At Beck's, we're proud to stand alongside those who don't wait to see what the world will do. They act, they lead, they are the difference. Beck's honors your commitment to your land, family, and purpose. And while we can't predict what the future holds, there is one thing we can do to change it, and that's be the difference. Right now, in every decision, in every season.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have sunshine in the forecast and dry conditions yet again. Mid to low 80s for us across central Ohio. And then for tonight, 50s and clear skies. For Saturday, Buckeyes football. Great weather for tailgating and throughout the game. Daytime highs topping out in the mid-80s with lots of sun. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Are you working? Because we barely are. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football and quiet quitting. The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And join the Fan live on campus Saturdays. The Bucks host Minnesota. We're tailgating at the O Patio and Pub on Lane beginning at 10, featuring live bands, great food, a fun time. And the Fan at the O Patio and Pub on Lane is sponsored by your Central Ohio Ford dealers, Jameson Whiskey, Didn't Go to College, and Coors Light. There you go on that. This is the, it's really one of the great sports conversations you can have. It's one of the most interesting ones, I think, which is what has just happened to the Cleveland Guardians. So as a fan, and you're not entitled to championships. It's one of the things we talk about a lot. Not entitled to them. What you're entitled to is to be entertained. So the Cleveland Guardians, Reese, and you're the one who can answer this better than anybody else because this is you, and this is one of your favorite entities to root for. You watch all the games, or at least are certainly cognizant of all the games that are being played. They delivered you a September unlike few we've seen. But it's over now, and the subject of your torment in September ends up being your ultimate tormentor in the end. So how do you reconcile this?
It's a difficult one just because of the last month. It was winning in a way that you champion at the end of 162, but no, that's not the way you're going to win 12 or 13 games in the postseason to get to where you ultimately want to go, and that's a World Series. I don't think anybody had ideas that this team would make an ALCS this season. You're coming off an AL Central win. You're coming off an AL Central championship, and the idea that you were 15.5 back and you erase that deficit, because, the Tigers' collapse is one thing, but I've said this before, they left the door open. You still had to walk through it. Yeah. And the Guardians did by playing the smallest ball possible. It's fun in a month. It's fun in the sample size, but I think it is frustrating because what you saw yesterday was similar issues that cropped up throughout the regular season, is just their inability to get and generate offense when you needed it. Some base running errors through the wild card series itself was a frustrating thing. And you don't know if there's going to be any help from a free agent standpoint, because you do have a lot of young guys coming up that you think will improve throughout the fall and throughout spring training, and that will be productive next summer. You have guys, like DeLauder, Kafis, Bazana, when he finally, when he makes it back to the Guardians lineup, but you just don't have enough to make postseason runs when you look over and then they're the Yankees hitting the long ball, or they're the Mariners that'll be hitting the crap out of it this weekend. It's frustrating at the end of it, but it's a joy through the month of September. And so you kind of have to walk that fine line, understanding that they're not going to do anything from a front office standpoint to get you that kind of long ball. So you hope the pitching takes a step. I know there were a lot of people that were lamenting, well, if we had Shane Bieber, this would be a different series. But I didn't think I thought trading him at the time that you did was the right move, because you didn't think this was going to happen. This is the magic that baseball kind of presents itself. So you hope that your pitching staff, your starting rotation takes a step, and then you can get back to the AL Central in similar fashion next year.
So it's the old better having loved and lost than never loved at all. Probably. Because you could have just pushed the chips in August and not had the month, but you had the fun for the month.
Yeah, it's tough to be angry knowing the front office and knowing how this is managed. In 2028, the David Blitzer, who owns a minority share of the Guardians, has an option to buy the majority. So 2028, maybe things can take a change. But right now, this is the team you've got, and this is the team you'll have next season.
It's kind of that discussion we always talk about, Bo, like, what do you deserve in sports? Mm-hmm. And it hurts now, but it hurts because you got there, right?
That's what I think,
And if you didn't get there, is that more disappointing than getting there and coming up short? I don't know. I think if I'm a Guardians fan, though, and I go to sleep after last night, and maybe last night's too soon.
Yesterday sucked, but I'm happy.
But if I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, well, we had Chase DeLauder just make his debut. We've seen George Valera play great in this series. Maybe Brian Rocchio will figure it out and play like he does in the postseason and the regular season. And then I think Travis Bazana as well added to this mix. Like, if I'm a Guardians fan, this sucks right now, but I'm pretty excited about next year and some of those young guys mixing in with Jose Ramirez and Stephen Kwan and the gang.
Yeah, I think what you have is you have these great moments, and that's what you want, Eddie. And you just want your team to do the best with the cards that they're dealt. And I think that the Guardians consistently do that. So it's all set for the divisional series. Happy for my guy Fish. The Cubs move on. So it'll be Cubs and Brewers. That's about a 25-minute drive from one to the next. So that's one of them. These all start tomorrow, by the way. I'm curious to see how these go up against college football. Yankees at Blue Jays, and then Dodgers at Phils in the primetime slot, and Detroit and Seattle in the late slot. So that is the way that is going to go. Thursday night football last night. So I had basketball tryouts, and so I got home about halfway through, and NBC was watching. He goes, Dad, Mac Jones is a dude. And I'm like, is he? Is he a dude? I said, what's going on? He said, what's the score? He goes, the Niners are up 14-0. And I said, yeah, that doesn't surprise. Both Reese and I picked him to cover. They ended up winning outright. I'm going to tell you this, and I say this without an ounce of hyperbole. I don't know if he's the best coach in football, but he is the best coach at getting the most out of the least in football. There isn't anybody else who would deal with what they deal with from an injury standpoint. Seems like year in and year out, and stay in the mix and win games like this. There is no damn reason that the San Francisco 49ers beat the LA Rams last night, other than the fact that Kyle Shanahan can coach it up like a maniac week to week. They were without Purdy, Pearsall, Ayuk, Jennings, Barch, Kittle, Bosa. The Rams were healthy. They went to LA and won. At the biggest stage, he's fumbled it. He was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta, up 28-3. He's been in the Super Bowl a couple of times with the 49ers, haven't been able to get it done. But if you have to pick one guy to coach your operation year in and year out and get the most out of what's there, you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody better than Kyle Shanahan. He makes Mac Jones last night, especially in the first half before he got banged up, look like Joe Montana. It makes you look what he did with Darnold, resurrecting his career. And McVay did that too, by the way, with Bake. That helped too. Like those two cats. But Shanahan, there's no reason for them to beat the Rams last night. Other than that's just what he does. I was talking to Tyvis yesterday afternoon. I said, when you were around Kyle, did you know that he was a genius? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. And what he knew, he gave me this great anecdote about how Kyle would go into defensive meetings and the defense would have things like schemed up and they'd be like, yeah, I got this. And Kyle would go, well, what about this? And he would point to a guy open offensively on the other side. Did you have this? And the reality was there's always an answer to what the defense is doing. And nobody gets his team, and especially his quarterbacks, more prepared for that than him.
I remember thinking last night, like, boy, they're asking Mac Jones to do a lot. And then I looked at the box score, and they're asking him to throw it 49 times.
He was the whole operation.
He was it.
Mac Jones.
You had a good night if you were, finally, if you drafted Christian McCaffrey first overall. Like last night was a good payoff. But yeah, it's incredible what he's able to do with that, laundry list of injuries that they've got. And I don't think it's a fluke for any of these teams right now that are 3-1 or 4-0 or 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not fluky.
No.
I wonder about this San Francisco team, how long they can keep going, because Brock Purdy's also got that turf toe. But last night against I still think a really good Los Angeles Rams team. 3-2 is not a fluke. This seems legit.
Bo, by no way am I saying that it would look the same if this were the case, but that was the quarterback I said Cleveland should take a shot on as a reclamation project. It wasn't Kenny Pickett. It wasn't anyone else, and all they would have had to do was sign him. They couldn't have, and Shanahan signed him for 2 years. He's got him for 2 years now as the backup, and who knows, maybe Brock Purdy's turf toe lingers from here on. But that was the guy I thought you should take a swing on for a reclamation project in Cleveland.
Well, and the offenses are very similar, right? So Mac, Brock, we'll see about Dylan Gabriel Sunday, but what those guys are elite processors. And they also don't overthink it, clearly. Kyle's going to scheme it open. If you see this, throw it here. This is all going to look the same. This looks like a wide zone left run. Oh, no, you're going to keep it. You're going to roll out and you hit the receiver on the backside on a post. And he's going to be open, I promise you. And then they throw it. And that's the type of quarterback you need. Kyle loved him in the draft. And it's an unbelievable reclamation project because Mac Jones was cooked after New England and Jacksonville. Totally cooked. But not now. and not that 49ers team. Just remarkable what they do. We'll turn our attention back to our game here tomorrow night. Buckeyes and Ghosts under the lights at the Shoe. You'll hear from Coach Day, Coach Fleck as well, who is very familiar with what a game here is all about. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. And if you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tighty-whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Check out this great deal on select Lay's potato chips. They're on sale now. 4 bags for only $10 with your card when you buy 4. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? Sup with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Football Friday edition of the program. Buckeyes and Golden Gophers tomorrow night at the Shoe, 7:30. Bucks big favorites in this one, 23.5. In terms of what you could expect tomorrow from us here at the Fan, noon to 2 Fan Sports Saturday with Reese and Tito. Sorry about that, Reese. I didn't. 2 hours with that guy. It's brutal. 2 to 4, pregame show, Matty Ice, DeVere, and Dane. And then 4 to 6, AR, Tim, and Bids on the Fan Tailgate Show. And, of course, the pregame show, the network pregame show starts at 6 with kickoff at 7:30. So that is what your day looks like tomorrow on the Fan. For Ryan Day, the day looks like going about your business. As is typically the case with most weeks in the Big Ten schedule, we talked about this off the top, the talent equates games are going to happen in practice for the Buckeyes. That's where the talent equates thing is. So when you talk about ironing, sharpening iron, yeah, it happens in the Texas game. It happens in the Washington game. It may happen next week at Illinois. It's absolutely going to happen against Penn State, for sure against Michigan, whoever you play in the Big Ten, and so forth and so on. But week to week, that iron sharpen iron has to happen at practice. And Ryan is handling that in a very unique way in terms of the way that they're going about their practice business. Here is Coach Day on that.
Well, I think it's good to recognize the things that are going well, so that we can continue to get their eyes on the positive plays. I think that's important. But to your point, you got to fix the problems. The issues are always going to be there, and negative plays in a red zone, including sack. But the penalties are the ones that bother you the most. And the truth is, the way you practice is how you're going to play in a game. And if we're going to let that stuff go on at practice, then it's going to show up in the game, and that's not acceptable. And so it's everybody's job, coaches included, mine included, to make sure that that's not happening in practice. We bring in referees, as you've seen in practice, to make sure somebody gets called for a penalty, they run a lap. And it sounds like a menial thing, but everybody, the whole team says if somebody goes on a false start, they stop practice, and everybody knows it's a false start, and we got to run. And we hold each other accountable with that. So it's about discipline, and we know we're the ones that are in control of that.
The other thing that has to be done here, and this is one of the challenges of college football in 2025, is you need all 100 engaged because you have got to have practice and practice players engaged. You can't have them worrying about NIL and portal and all that stuff. So there's all these ancillary things they're worrying about that, quite honestly, you don't have to. Ryan Day did echo that yesterday in terms of the importance of practice players, scout team players, getting his team ready for games like the one they're going to have tomorrow night.
We take a lot of pride in how we practice. Our Tuesdays and Wednesdays are physical. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of reps to go around. And everybody has their own journey. We talk about this a lot. It's good to see guys who have been in the program for multiple years now seeing their hard work pay off on the field with some production. And that's the next step for these guys in year 3 and 4 to really step up and take leadership roles and carry some production, because that's a big part of leadership. You got to go put it on the field. And so a lot of guys are starting to really step into that. But everybody's journey is different. I think a lot of guys want to come in and play as a freshman and think that after the recruiting process it's just going to go real easy, where they're going to have to make a decision to go to the NFL in their 3rd year. And some guys, do that, and that's their journey. But that's not for everybody. Usually when guys come in here, they're being challenged in a lot of different ways, and they're going to feel uncomfortable for a long period of time, and that's where the support of the coaches, the support of their teammates are important to work through those things.
The opponent on Saturday night is the Minnesota Golden Gophers. They come into this one 3-1. Their head coach is PJ Fleck. More on him in just a minute. He was here before in 06 as a GA under Tress. He is aware of the environment his team is walking into.
I know that the fans have been asking for a night game for 3 years, right? And they got it, and it's against the Gophers. So we're going to do everything we can to simulate it. I don't think you can ever do that exactly, because that place is 107,000 fans, and it's deafening. And that's for a noon kickoff or an 11 a.m. kickoff, let alone all of them doing what they do, tailgating all day and being ready for the night game that the fans have asked for. And so we know we're walking into a really hostile environment. We're going to do everything we can to recreate it and preparing it. But our players are just going to have incredible poise and execute in the small details, and find a way just to continue to get better and go execute the game plan that's in front of us. But we know what kind of environment we're walking into.
PJ, acutely aware of the environment. Also, some high praise for the opponent. Some very high praise, in fact, about this group of Buckeyes.
I have a ton of respect for Coach Day. A ton. He's an incredible man, first of all, and then just a fabulous coach. But, I know he has a lot of confidence in this football team that he's coaching. And I think statistically, when you look at them under Ryan Day, this statistically in the first 4 games could be his best team he's ever coached. And so this is a really good football team. So we're going to have to play our best football game of the year. We know that. But that's what's so fun about it, and what a great opportunity it is for us, and a great challenge at the same time for our football team.
You could make an argument that few coaches in college football have done more in their current outpost than PJ. He's been at Minnesota since 17. Here are the records. At Minnesota, remember, let's fully put our understanding around that. Goes 5-7 in year 1, then he goes 7-6, then 11-2. They win the Big Ten West in 2019. COVID shortened 3-4, then 9-4, 9-4, 6-7, 8-5, 3-1 so far this year. He is 61-40 at Minnesota. That's coaching it up. I got one other thing that I think is pretty impressive about what he's done there. And we can have fun with row the boat and all the stuff that he does, but and even the suit he wore Monday, which was a choice. But in terms of what he does on the field, this jumps out to me as well. He is 6-0 in bowl games at Minnesota. So that means when it comes time, and he's not playing in the Fiesta Bowl. It's quick lane, Outback, guaranteed rate, pinstripe, quick lane, Duke's Mayo. I don't even know where any of those are except the Outback. But what that tells me is his players respond to him, and they play their rear ends off for him. That's what that tells me. Because when I see in bowl game, it's easy to get a kid up for a college football national semifinal, college football playoff game. You run out at the Rose Bowl, it's easy to get up for that. Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Peach Bowl, Orange Bowl, that's all easy. Those environments sell themselves. If you're winning all these bowls against light competition, that means that your guys are responding to what you're selling. So I think he's done a hell of a job there. He's 44. His name very rarely gets bandied about anymore when it comes to jobs. But in terms of getting the most out of a spot, he's doing it.
He's built a real culture there. And that's a place that's someone I think would think is tough to do. I think the goofiness that he brings with rowing the boat, and some might think that's a gimmick, but I think it's authentic to him. And he won at, directional Michigan. He won at Minnesota. I don't think there are a ton of the biggest jobs that would allow him to get away with doing all of that. So I'd be interested to see how that would mesh. And maybe he's not interested in that. But the idea that when they have home games, those stands are full. And when they go on the road, you think, for the most part, I think they took a loss to Cal on the season, but you're getting a team that's going to give you its best shot. Like it's gonna play. And for Ohio State, there's going to be so much more of the talent is so much on the side of the Buckeyes that they can't let this be a game that gets sloppy. They can't let this be a game that gets stupid penalties and dumb mistakes, because Minnesota's going to make you earn it.
We talked about this yesterday. There's obviously limitations at Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see PJ get a job at like a USC or a Florida or maybe even a Virginia Tech that's open right now. Maybe a Penn State. I would love to just see what he could do, because we talk about that goofiness and quirkiness. Harbaugh had that too.
Mm-hmm.
And when it doesn't work, it wears on you and people want to get rid of you. But when you're winning, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So if he could go to one of those places, establish a culture, and get them to win, because again, there's a lot of limitations at Minnesota, and he's a 61-40 record, as you just brought up. If he could go to one of those places and win, nobody would care about the goofiness or the culture. And I think when you genuinely care about your players, and we talked about him, he had a quote where he said, he's worried about if his players, became better men because of him, better husbands, better fathers. That's what he's worried about. That stuff's genuine, and that stuff you can't beat. That's how you get a relationship with your players, and you build that culture, I think. So if he goes somewhere like that and wins, nobody would care. I'd love to see him get the shot.
He's got a great setup the way he has. Minneapolis is one of the great cities. It's an awesome town to live in. I don't think doesn't have pressure to win anything of substance at Minnesota. They're probably thrilled with what he's doing year in and year out. But just selfishly, I'd like to see him at a place with a higher ceiling just to see what could happen. That's kind of what I would like. The great Porty weighing in. Minnesota is what Wisconsin was. Close, not quite. I think Wisconsin was a little more serious, but that's a good point. And I think you think about places where he could land with a higher ceiling. I hope at one point he gets one of those opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, Jake Diebler with a massive opportunity this season in year 2 with Ohio State. He's got a fun day tomorrow planned. You're going to hear from him next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Children with Down syndrome in Central Ohio need your support. Join 10TV, Newman Roofing, and the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk. Join thousands of participants as we come together to celebrate the uniqueness and resiliency of the Down syndrome community. Your participation and donations directly support programs and services for people with Down syndrome and their families. Together we can make a meaningful impact and pave the way for a more inclusive future. Sunday, October 5th for the 2025 Buddy Walk.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are trying to take control of their health. They want to look beyond the traditional medicine of going to just a normal doctor. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. People just like you and me are finding lasting relief without steroids, medication, surgery, right here in Columbus, Ohio at QC Kinetics. You'll be treated by the highly regarded orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sports Medicine. Here's how it works. Your blood contains many tiny but mighty healing tools. At QC Kinetics, Dr. Tesner and his team will get to the root of where your pain stems from, right down to the cells that are involved. By putting these natural elements to work your body, it can revitalize your joints, literally using your own body's biologics to heal you. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay, no drugs. It's fast, all natural, and there's no downtime. So if it's knees, backs, hips, whatever it may be, give QC Kinetics a call for your free consultation. 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. QCkinetics.com/Columbus.
College is great. You know what else is great? Pizza. which you can buy with your Huntington Bank debit card with the Ohio State University logo. Huntington Bank is proud to be the official consumer bank of the Ohio State University. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're a sports card fan like me, you've got to check out Midwest Cards in the Arena District, right outside Nationwide Arena. These guys are true collectors themselves, and they've built a shop that lets you experience card collecting in a whole new way. They've got sealed boxes, packs, single cards, signed memorabilia, and plenty of TVs in their lounge. Yeah, they have a lounge. And don't forget the card bar, where you can open packs while you have an adult beverage. It's awesome. Stop by Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
Hi, this is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we're offering an amazing $12,000 off MSRP on a new Ford Bronco Badlands. This offer is only from Krieger Ford, so come see us on Morris Road or visit KriegerFord.com today. Home of the Krieger Commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of carpet, luxury vinyl, laminate, and hardwood, even installation supplies. Everything you need for your next project. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Poth Road in Whitehall. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends September 30th. Dealers welcome.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. We can help ensure you'll have a reliable income stream in retirement, locking in gains and avoiding downturns in the market. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Homecoming Saturday on campus, football game at night. Nice little aperitif for you. I love when this happens. So, open practice. This is at the Shot. You can enter through the Northwest Rotunda, 2:30 to 4:30. Get your first look at the 2025-26 Ohio State men's basketball team. This team's going to be a lot of fun. The man in charge of it is Jake Diebler. He joins us on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. Can you believe we're here already, buddy?
Hey, appreciate you having me on. And it is hard to believe that we are now getting ready to start practice 9 and scrimmages coming up, exhibitions, and soon the season is around the corner.
How important is it for you to have this connective tissue with the fan base and do this at a 2:30 on a day when campus is going to be buzzing? People got to see what you've put together here for this team.
You know, I think when you're in this position and a part of this program, the fans are so important. So when we have an opportunity to kind of extend a hand or open our doors for them to come in, you know, I'm always going to err on the side of doing that. I think it's great. You know, we have a lot to be excited about in this program right now. That we've had an awesome off season. Guys have been working extremely hard. They're well connected, and I want our fans to come in and get a glimpse of that. It's certainly right now a work in progress. We got a lot of practice time left before we start games, but you know, we felt like, hey, we know there's going to be a lot of Buckeyes walking around early on Saturday. Let's open up the doors and let them come in and check us out.
I think it's just awesome, pal. I'm sure you learned a lot in year one. What is your favorite thing you learned in year one?
Well, I know you don't have that long of a segment for me to just go through all the things, but you know, I think I'm gonna go with 2. I think one of them is, you know, I'm really proud of the cultural foundation we were able to lay in year one. I think we it's well documented. We went through a ton of adversity last year, but, our culture held firm, held strong all the way to the end to put us in position. Now, obviously, we didn't finish the job, which is not, we're not happy with that. But I also think we had 11 games decided by 2 possessions or less. So I feel like I got a doctorate, in how to manage and process and how we can collectively, be really good at end of game situations, because we had we had a 5-game stretch decided by every game decided by 1 possession. It's the first time in 126-year history of Ohio State basketball. So those type of experience, learning opportunities, we've certainly leaned into and excited about how, we're going to handle those moving forward.
Coach, I love how you put this team together, man. One thing you think about the teams that have had success in March, you got to have veterans. You got to have veteran guards. You got to have guys who can shoot. I mean, you get Bruce is back again. I can't imagine how comfortable you are seeing him out there. To get John back again, and then to get Gabe in the portal, who, the injuries last year, but was a true freshman starter at Indiana. So your guard rotation is veteran, it's experienced, and they can shoot it. What do you like about how you put those guys together, and what comfort does that give you knowing that those guys are in place for you?
It's really important because, guards got to be able to make plays down the stretch of Big Ten games. That's been proven for decades. And, really excited about the backcourt we've been able to assemble. I think the biggest thing is they fit well together, because we're going to have multiple guards out there at times, certainly, but that fit is really important. And to your point, the shooting across the board, which not just in our backcourt, but our front court now, is something we're really excited about. But listen, I saw what Ryan and that staff were able to do, last offseason heading into last year, and the priority on retention. And we tried to model that as best we could, building out this roster and then complementing that retention with the right pieces in the portal. And I feel like we really did that. So I think, I was watching what they were doing and thought, that could really work for us too.
That seems to be the mix, right? You got to bring in some talented youngsters, portal really strategically, but then you got to have culture guys that come through. It's hard to believe, like Devin Royal in year 3 already for the kid from Pick Central. In terms of some of the new faces, and there's a lot that people are going to be excited about, and I don't want to put you on the spot because you'll have to name everybody, but are there some guys that when folks roll in there at 2:30 tomorrow to watch you guys practice that will be attention getters?
Well, I think when you see Christoph Tilley at 7 feet tall, able to dribble, pass, and shoot, and really he shot it at a high level with consistency since he's been here, I think that's going to jump out at you right away. And then, from him, and certainly it's everything in between there, but then you go older guy, big guy, to a younger guy who's also, got really, really good physical tools, and Amari Bynum at 6'8" as a freshman that can, do multiple things on the court, on both sides of the ball. And again, there's a lot of newcomers who will be in our rotation, but I think starting with those two, people are going to be really excited about how they start the season, but also progress as the season goes on.
Coach, you going to do anything a little special tomorrow for the fans that are there? Do we got any 3-point contests, any of that type of thing the kids can look forward to?
I'm always looking for a good challenge. If anybody, but no, I'm kidding. I think we're
who can outshoot you?
Here.
You probably can still win, right, Coach? You could shoot it.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. But no, I think we want to make sure that we're kind of ironing out some details here before the tomorrow. And we're going to make it fun. But I think that the biggest part is we're actually going to scrimmage. We're going to do an inter-squad scrimmage, so we won't do a full game, but people are going to get to see some live play of us. Now, we know what's coming defensively and offensively, right, because we're going against ourselves. But I wanted to give our fans a chance to see us get up and down and see us play against each other a little bit and do it in a scrimmage format. So we're really excited about it, and I think people will really enjoy it.
Buddy, that's getting us right there. I mean, that you get the fans in there, give them something. That's a great job out of you. I know you and Ross had a bunch of things cooked up for this season in the arena as well to really create that true home court advantage that I know that you need in what should be a special season. Thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciate it. Folks, get there 2:30 for that open practice at Ohio State. Thanks for your time, pal.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. And go Bucks.
There he is, Jake Diebler, head coach of the Ohio State men's basketball team. That open practice, 2:30 doors open for that, a couple hours. You're going to get a little scrimmage place. You're going to get a look at Amari Bynum. Heard a lot of whispers about that. 7-foot Tilly, shoot it, dribble it, handle it. I really like the makeup of this team. I think they're set up for something pretty special this year. Coming up next, second hour of the program, we turn our attention back to college football, who learned it and who earned it this week. That is coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on The Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Don't let credit hold you back. Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall welcomes all credit types with open arms. Find your dream ride and get approved fast. Call 614-861-7150 or on the web at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
The number one problem we see at our clinic is delaying treatment. ED and low T can get worse.
Book your appointment right now. Call 614-300-7400. Prefer privacy? Book online in under 30 seconds at columbusmensclinic.com.
At our clinics, men's sexual health is the whole job. Look, I'm a normal guy too. I hate going to the doctor, but we've helped so many guys in here just like you. Even if pills have failed, our medical team is going to take the time to talk you through it. Same day in-house lab, and the treatments, well, they could change your life.
Your local medical team has your back. ED, low T, Peyronie's, size, and shape modeling. We tailor what works for you.
I'll get to the point. Can you imagine epic workouts and epic sex? Yeah, I said it.
A stronger you is closer than you think. We're available right now. Call 614-300-7400 or book in 30 seconds or less at columbusmensclinic.com. Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great cars, great deals, Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin. You know the savings are so good. Great Lakes Hyundai of Columbus. Good. GLakesHyundai.com.
Did you want information on the Ohio Lottery's Rolling Cash 5? Okay. Rolling Cash 5 is a daily draw game where you select 5 numbers from 1 to 39 and win by matching 2, 3, 4, or 5 numbers. Jackpots start at $100,000 and grow until someone wins. You can learn more at OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want to go back to the radio? Okay.
Your game day headquarters is here at ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus, the only place to watch and win. Catch every play on more than 30 TVs and over 50 feet of video wall. Score tickets, signed professional and college sports memorabilia, and pen cash prizes. Join the watch parties for every home team game with a tailgate buffet and bucket specials. Plus, get official game day swag with every table reservation. Game day lives here, only at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
This is the Duke's Country Song.
It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang. Dormar, your pilot hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the tin man.
Your credit, your car, our promise. At Capital Ford of Columbus and Whitehall, we approve all credit types. Perfect, challenged, or none. Drive off today with easy financing. Visit today or online at capitalfordofcolumbus.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. It's homecoming for the number one team in the country. Ohio State hosts Minnesota tomorrow night at 7:30. Buckeyes are favored by more than 3 touchdowns in this one. We'll have the game on the Fan with pregame coverage starting tomorrow at noon. Ohio State's at number 22 Illinois next Saturday for a big noon kick from Champaign. In the NFL last night, the 49ers beat the LA Rams 26-23 in overtime. Niners got a key stop on 4th down in OT to improve to 4-1 on the season. Week 5 continues Sunday in London. The Browns play the Vikings at 9:30. You can hear that game on the Fan with coverage Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. It's Week 7 of the high school football season. Olentangy Liberty hosts Upper Arlington tonight on the Fan at 6:30. In baseball yesterday, the Guardians bowed out of the postseason, falling to the Tigers 6-3 in Game 3 of the American League wildcard. Detroit heads to Seattle tomorrow for Game 1 of the ALDS. This update sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Football Friday. Tim May coming up in 28 minutes from now. Between now and then, who learned it and who earned it?
Bishop and Friends present Learned and Earned. What we learned this week and who's earned a drink.
And the favorite nominee here gets a 6-pack of non-alcoholic beer from our great friends at Go Brewing. You can do so on the YouTube chat or on the Twitter as well, and we'll hand out that 6-pack. I'm going to hand mine out of the gates to Lane Kiffin. We lament the loss of the great characters in this sport through the years. Sam Pittman, R.I.P., in an SEC school situation. We've lost a lot of them through the years. Kiffin's our last remaining guy. Lanning's maybe going into that with whatever the hell he's snorting before his post-game interviews, so perhaps he'll get there. But Kiffin can coach it, and Kiffin is interesting. He had a very fun press conference, a couple of them last week, following the win against LSU. And then he had one midweek this week, as his team is ranked 4th in the country. Quote, "In my opinion, the dynasties are over. Alabama, Coach Saban, then Kirby at Georgia, where they had those rosters year in and year out, there'd be a bunch of wins by 30 points in the conference. Those days are done." He told a story about when he was at Alabama, they'd go watch the outside linebackers. And there's 6 of them over there that are first-round picks. That's not going to happen anymore because if they don't play, then they're going to leave. They can't keep them all anymore. He also had one other thing that I thought was really smart, and this is something for the fans, and it's something fans here at some point may have to get used to, too. Not quite like Ole Miss. But he said, my concern for programs and for coaches that fans aren't going to be able to get used to the numbers being different, the wins and the losses. If you're a program that's used to 9 or 10 wins and you go 7-5, your fans are going to think that the team is terrible and the coach is terrible, but you may have lost 4 road games at Georgia, Florida, LSU, and Bama. He's right on all of that stuff. I hope he stays there. I used to want him to go to a better job. I think that is the perfect job for him. I'm very appreciative of Lane Kiffin. He's earned his 6-pack this week.
Yeah, I'd learned that there are or will be 6 jobs that are currently either interim or vacant. Stanford, Frank Reich's the interim. Mm-hmm. Kent State, they fired their head coach before the regular season. Arkansas's got Bobby Petrino as their interim. Virginia Tech, UCLA, and Oklahoma State also have guys that are just filling the spot right now. So of those 6, I do wonder, could Coach O make a return to one of those spots? I think we've always said that if there's one guy in college football that we'd love to have a beer with, it's Coach O. And this was from a TV station in Baton Rouge, WAFB in Louisiana, caught up with Coach O earlier this week.
There's talk that you want to coach again. Does that mean big-time assistant like you were at USC? Does that mean head coach? What does that mean?
All depends what the best thing available is, Jock. But I'm ready to coach again. I left a little bit meat on the bone. I'm ready to go.
Little beat on the bone.
Come on.
That's amazing.
Where does he? I mean, Arkansas is not going to hire him. I'll tell you this though: Arkansas was rumored to hire my guy Rhett Lashley at SMU with the Beloved Ponies. I don't think Arkansas is a better job than SMU. I would much rather be the head coach at SMU and have all of the things that you have there, that type of booster backing, that proximity to talent. I can convince a kid to go to one of the best prestigious private schools in the country in one of the most glamorous cities we have in America, in Dallas, Texas. Like, I can do that. You want me to get a kid to go to Fayetteville? You better get the Tyson Chicken Boys to write some big checks.
Bo, we're playing hypothetical here, and I know you don't want him to go, but say Florida says bye-bye to Billy Napier, and they bring in Kiffin. Could Coach O go back to Ole Miss?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, because he seems like it has to be...
When was he there?
Ole Miss, LSU, some kind of school in that area for Coach O to work.
No, I think Coach O's got to go the other way. I think he's got to be the head coach at Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
From 05 to 07, he was the old ball coach at Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'd want him at La Tech or Louisiana or something like that. I mean, the crazy juxtaposition would to put that guy at like Tulane. Like that would be crazy. But there are some spots down there in that area that I think he would thrive at. I mean, he's 64.
I think with...
It's got some meat on the bone.
That's so good. I think with all of the pressure on him and going into Athens and breaking the nation's longest home winning streak, I think my guy Kalen DeBoer earned himself a drink for his performance last week. Nobody ever wants to be the guy following the guy. Maybe the greatest college football coach of all time in Nick Saban. And DeBoer has gone in there with a roster that was pillaged last year. He went 9-4. Tough opener this year against Florida State. Everybody's calling for his job. Feinbaum's got people calling in saying if they won the lottery, they'd pay the $77 million buyout themselves to get him out of here and bring Saban back. And then he goes and beats Georgia on the road in a game that he critically needs, because not only did he need it to help the fan base out, but they've got a heck of a row to hoe here the rest of the way in the season. So I don't think anybody earned one more than DeBoer.
I think it is DeBoer. It's interesting. So they've got Vanderbilt at home on Saturday. And I wonder if last week and maybe even this Saturday, there are Alabama fans out there that want the Tide to lose so that they get closer to firing DeBoer, because they've already made up their mind at the beginning of the season that he ain't the guy.
Well, they're idiots then, if that's the case.
True.
Because here they are the perfect example of you're not entitled to this. If you can't appreciate the one in a billion thing that is Nick Saban going to Alabama and having the run that he had, then I can't help you. But that you need to have some sense of reality here. That goes to what Kiffin was talking about, where you got to start getting used to these records. Kalen DeBoer has a brutal loss on his resume, and that loss was in Norman last year when they lost to an Oklahoma team that was garbage. And he lost that game, and that's on his resume, and he's got to outlive it and outrun it. But in everybody else, in terms of who he is when talent equates and top 10 matchups, he handles his business. Baker's right on their schedule. I don't think Vanderbilt's the 16th team in the country. I mean, this is ridiculous. Come on. Vanderbilt, if you give me Washington or Vanderbilt, who do you want? I'll take Washington all day. I think Washington's better than Vanderbilt. But somehow Vanderbilt's 16. Okay, great. Missouri somehow is 19. Okay, great. Tennessee, 15. At South Carolina. Really tough stretch here. LSU, Oklahoma, both are at home. Then Eastern Illinois, and then at Auburn. If he can be 9-3 this year, I think he's going to make the playoff at 9-3. I think 10-2 for sure you're in. But I think Kiffin's right. I think you're going to see crazy cannibalization that's going to happen in this league over the course of the next 2 months. There's just way too much balance to it. And while I don't think Vanderbilt's the 16th team in the country, they're formidable. They are formidable, and they got a nice quarterback. So there isn't anything in that league that you can look at on a week-in, week-out basis and go, here's a perfect example. And I haven't even looked this up. I'm just going to see if I can prove my own point here live on the air. All right, so it's pretty close. So would we agree that Ohio State, Minnesota is similar to Kentucky, Georgia? Would we say that Minnesota and Kentucky are similar talent situations? Seems fair.
Probably pretty close.
I would say, yeah. And then Georgia, Ohio State, similar. I think the Buckeyes are better, but I think that's similar. So our game is 23.5 on ESPN Bet. Georgia favored at home 19.5. So that's a half touchdown difference in terms of it. And I think it speaks to just the SECs. They really have, even Bama's only favored by 10.5. A&M's ranked 6th in the country. They are at home, and they are only favored by 16.5 against Mississippi State. We're going to see some spreads for Ohio State as this season goes along. When you're playing when you're playing Purdue and you're playing UCLA, that are going to be 36.5, 34.5. That doesn't happen in that league. You don't see 4-score favorites much in that league. So that's the thing that Kiffin's talking about. I mean, even Florida, who is destitute, is hosting Texas this weekend, and Texas is only 5.5-point favorite.
That doesn't seem right at all.
No.
That one doesn't seem right to me at all.
No, it doesn't to me either, but that's what it is. That's what makes that league tricky. And that's the point with Kiffin that, and at some point, it'll probably happen here too, where you're going to go 9-3 and you're like, what the hell happened? Well, the reality is this is college football now, that rosters are being poached week in and week out. You got some 5-star kid who hasn't seen the field. Somebody who recruited him is saying, hey, man, you come here, you can start, and we'll match what they're getting you.
Like West Virginia's quarterback announced today he's already going into the portal once the season ends.
Yeesh.
For your 9-3 point, Vanderbilt might be this year's case study in that 9-3, because they've got Alabama this week, and then the 3 games following it are against LSU at home, Missouri at home, at Texas, and then they've got Tennessee at the end of the season. All 4 of those opponents with numbers next to their names. Alabama, obviously, the 10th ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
We did get some nominees from the YouTube chat. My Mills says Kiffin earned one. Cardinal, Kalen DeBoer earned a drink. Phil's rolling the whole gamut. He went baseball a little bit here. Brian Rocchio. He also said Matt Patricia has earned a night of free drinks.
Yeah, his bar tabs.
In whatever bar he chooses. And then I like this one from Jaywalking. He says 3s. He said he's got the best linebacker core in the nation, and the way Sonny and Arvell spied on Damon Williams last week was amazing.
What I think is so cool about 3s, other than about everything, it's the fact that he saw Arvell Reese's 8 and Sonny Styles, and he goes, everyone's like, I don't know where to play him. And he's like, I know where to play him.
Give him to me.
I know where those guys come into my room. And let's just see what happens. And now both of them may end up being first-round picks. Do you have one to give away, Reese? Who do you want to go to?
Yeah, I think we'll go with Jaywalking.
Okay.
Who shouted out 3s for that, because you're absolutely right. When they're like, well, we got to get him on the field somehow. And James stepped up and said, yeah, I got a good spot.
I got an idea. I feel like those guys might be able to play the position I played. I think I can teach it to them pretty well. Last week was a monster week in college football. This week is a little bit of a step back. We'll get you ready for it, though. A couple of ones to keep our eyes on this weekend. We'll do that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Another summer has ended, and you may have noticed that your energy is lower, your workouts aren't as productive, perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time, maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait. You need to call us at Tri-State Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
America works, and Valley has the tools. Valley is your #1 volume Ford commercial truck dealer in the nation. Business owners choose from 550 new Fords, including 80 transit vans and 170 Super Duties. Stakes, dumps, box trucks, pickups. Save big at Valley Ford of Columbus with Section 179 tax savings. As Carnell Tate says,
the game-winning deal is always at Valley. ValleySuperstore.com.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, The Ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have sunshine in the forecast and dry conditions yet again. Mid to low 80s for us across central Ohio. And then for tonight, 50s and clear skies. For Saturday, Buckeyes football. Great weather for tailgating and throughout the game. Daytime highs topping out in the mid-80s with lots of sun. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
It's Friday and there's football. I shall call it Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for all things football. The Fan. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are proudly sponsored by our friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 78 years. You got a tailgate tomorrow. You can get Buckeye jewelry, $99. It starts with my friends at Diamond Seller. Visit those two locations. They'll take care of you, I promise you, of that. Last weekend was just one banger after another, college football. I mean, it's just to the point where I ended up, it's like midnight when I finally go to bed. I'm like, all right, you basically didn't move for 10 hours. Was kind of the way that it went. We just stuck all the way through the day. This week's not quite like that. If you want to take a little break, you can. There are some intriguing matchups, though, and I think the one that I'm most curious about how it will go is a rivalry that I'm quite familiar with. They they've monkeyed with it through the years. When I was a kid and when Bake was a kid, as we're of a similar age, this was a game that was usually the first Saturday in October or the second Saturday in October. It was typically, if not the greatest rivalry in college football in the 1990s, it was the rivalry that had the most talent on the field every year when they played through the late 80s and through the 90s and early 2000s. And then it fell off. And that since there hasn't been a consistent time when both of the programs have been on a level playing field. And that's been the case here for the last really almost 20 years where they've, FSU's won a national title, Miami won a national title, but then they just haven't been able to align themselves where they both were good. Maybe this is the year. Miami is at Florida State on Saturday. I'll never forget the first time that I saw the 2001 Miami football team that the Buckeyes vanquished. And if you would have told me after watching them roll into Doak Campbell Stadium where Florida State hadn't lost in like 8 years, and they put the beat down on them, I'll never forget the running back room and the talent was in there, the safeties, the linebackers, all of it. They're a long way from that. But I thought Mario Cristobal gave a great answer a couple of weeks ago when it came to, is the U back? One of Reese's favorite bits is the U back. And he goes, we don't want to be back. We don't want to be what we were. We want to be what we're going to be. And one thing that I've noticed about this Miami team, and Ari Wasserman echoed this yesterday when he was on with us, their two lines of scrimmage are real ones. And Beck he's a damn good pro college football quarterback. What I mean by that is you kind of know what you're getting every week with him, and he's thriving with an offensive line that is really, really good and a defense that's elite. The loss Florida State had last week is really puzzling, losing at Virginia. That was such an odd loss for them to have. You nailed it. I thought it would be competitive. I thought that they would cover at the end. They did not. In fact, they lost. So there's some of the luster is off of this one. But I think this one is less about the Noles and more about the Canes for me.
You talk about that offensive line, especially with Miami, and their defensive line has been great. Francis Mauioa, I believe he's their right tackle. It's one of their tackles, but I believe he plays right tackle. He's probably a top 15, maybe top 10 pick in the draft. Might as well just keep him in those same colors and put him up in Cleveland and help him. Listen, if he's a right tackle, he can protect Dylan Gabriel's backside. So that would be perfect. But listen, I think Mario Cristobal was the right guy at Miami. I didn't believe Florida State. And I thought last week they would be looking ahead to this game, so that's why I kind of went the Virginia way with the spread. I think Miami's a better team. I actually think they're a better team by a little bit, but I have respect for this rivalry, so I think this game is going to be closer than what it should be, probably.
They'll be ready for it, for sure. I mean, some of the juice is off of it, but the folks down there will be ready for it. I know they're disappointed that they didn't get College Game Day, but then beat Virginia. And then you're going to get your chance at College Game Day. Another one where I'm not at all curious about the result, but I am curious about the resolve is what does Luke, if anything, have left at Wisconsin? So when he was here as a coach and a coordinator, he didn't lose to Michigan often. It's the big noon game tomorrow up in Ann Arbor. Michigan's favored by a lot, 3 scores in the game. If he doesn't start getting some wins here pretty damn quick. I mean, losing at home to Maryland 27-10 when they were big favorites, and I think we both picked that one right. Losing the way that they did, I just can't even, I don't know how you rally a team from that. So they're at Michigan this week. Guys, then listen to this. Iowa at home, Ohio State at home, at Oregon, Washington at home, at Indiana, Illinois at home, at Minnesota. You tell me how he gets more than 3 wins at Wisconsin. I'll wait. I don't know that. I don't know where it's coming. He's got 2 right now. He's got Middle Tennessee State and Miami. I think he's got to win one of them. There's no way he's going to lose his last 10 games of the season.
You say that, but
seems like he needs Iowa really bad.
I hear it with a lot less confidence. I mean, if Iowa I don't want to say this with confidence because I don't believe in it. Like you would think, right? One of them, and they're all going to be upsets because Wisconsin's going to be the underdog in all of these. Where that upset comes from, or who gets upset by the Gophers. and I don't see it.
I didn't like him going there, but I didn't think it'd go like this either.
If he gets out of this season with just 3 wins, God forbid, maybe even 2, it's done, right? They got to get rid of him.
Yeah, I talked to the Hoff about this because I just was curious. I know he's friends with Luke. I just was curious, like, what is the resolve at Wisconsin in terms of how much will they put up with? And kind of the reality is that the buyout's like $25 million. So don't shed too many tears for Luke because he's going to be just fine with his lovely family. So the buyout's a big buyout. And then the other thing is like, okay, where do you go from here? And then how far? This is the challenge for a place like Wisconsin. How far, when you have no program momentum, how far do you let it fall with the belief that this is the guy who can fix it when it's gone the way that it's gone? Like, you fall too far and you can be like where Nebraska was a decade ago.
So I wonder,
and there is no Big Ten West to bail you out anymore.
With I think it was Beamer on a Buckeye show a couple weeks ago. Beamer was on with Pat Murphy, I think it was. And they had said that Wisconsin saw this schedule before the season. Wisconsin saw the schedule likely before they extended Luke Fickell. I can't imagine
they did the extension for recruiting.
Yeah.
Is my hunch, is why they did it.
I wonder I don't think anything with Wisconsin with any confidence. I can't say anything about these Badgers with confidence, because if they lose the rest of the games, yeah, common sense would be like you need to change something, and you've got to change the head coach. But if he's got the extension, if he's got the $25 million buyout, if Joe Thomas is even saying, I don't really know, I feel like he gets another shot, one more year. But that would just defy logic.
If that's the case, then what they need to do is they need to have some boosters write checks. And they need to get about $30 million in NIL, and they need to put a roster together that can give it a go, because he's 7-6 in year 1, 5-7 in year 2, and so far 2-2. But it's hard to imagine him getting anywhere near 5 wins this year with what they have remaining on the schedule. No. Hard to imagine it. I think they'll play hard at Michigan. I think they'll play hard. Might not be enough. We'll get Tim May's view on that. And he was out in Seattle last week. Get his view on what he saw in the Great Pacific Northwest. That's coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
At Giant Eagle, we're focused on quality, freshness, and all your favorites. Because meals bring us together. Because recipes keep traditions alive. Because the right ingredients make it or break it. Because being part of the neighborhood matters. Because what we pick up at the store is what we bring into our lives. At Giant Eagle, we're always going for better to bring you the best. Because it matters.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
When we started the company, I was absolutely going to build my own plant. We can build a very, very good window and sell it at a reasonable price. And if you buy from a company that is a dealer, they have to order the part from the factory, have it sent, and then schedule a service. I got 500 locks out back. If you need a lock, it'll take me 15 seconds to walk back here and grab one for you.
Visit our showroom today at 4200 Roberts Road.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, you are. Time to head out on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Conversation with a good buddy, Tim May. The Tim May Show on FanStreamSports.com and, of course, right here at The Fan. Set the football aside. What did you learn last week in Seattle about the Washington program?
That if it was in South Dakota or Missouri or something, you'd go, this thing totally fits the Big Ten, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
I'm talking about take that university in that setting, but you can't, South Dakota's about as far away you can get from Puget Sound. But it just feels big. I mean, it feels like a big time program, man. I mean, the university is beautiful, and it feels like a when you walk through it. I mean, I back in the day, when I first started doing this, I used to walk through the campuses and stuff, just get a feel, because I like the college feel about things. I'm not sure anything feels really college anymore, though. It's pretty crazy, but it just feels like it fits in the Big Ten. Except, oh my goodness, like I told you, I was talking with Pat Chun. I had him on my the athletic director at Washington. I had him on my show at the end of the week last week, the Tim May Show, and I said, I finally figured out this expansion thing. It's like the 14 Big Ten teams that were in it before Washington and Oregon and USC and UCLA. Well, Washington and Oregon, that was the 48 contiguous states, and then Washington and Oregon are like Alaska, and USC and UCLA are like Hawaii. You know what I mean? They're still in the United States, but man, are they a long way away, baby.
When you talk to him,
when he got off, that's why I asked Ryan when he talked to us last week out there in Washington. It still felt a little bit more like an exotic trip, that you take every so often with your football team. And he goes, "No, it's Big Ten game." I mean, he said all the right things and stuff, but that's a long way out there, man.
Did you get
what's a long way too is Washington coming across the country to play a surprising Maryland team this week. So
no, I hate that game.
Who knows,
for them.
Man?
Yeah, you're coming off of a home game against the number one team in the country, and then you got to try all the way to the other coast. When you were talking to Pat, did you get the sense that the Big Ten is going to do them a little bit of – I mean, the Big Ten has done nothing from those schools. I think it's absolutely criminal, Tim, that Washington isn't playing at bare minimum Oregon, USC, and UCLA every year. Why would they not at least have 3 of their games be those 3 teams?
No, there's nothing concrete. Now, like you said, at least 2 of those teams, right? But
play
like I told him, I said, see, I think that's what's missing in the grand plan is not having 2 or 3 teams you play every year that gives you the bite of being in a true conference, meaning your fans, their fans know, hey, we play them every year because we're in their conference, but you could. Throw Ohio State in there along with like Oregon and USC or something. I mean, or Penn State in there along with Oregon, USC. I think that's kind of what's missing from the grand plan of making it still feel like a conference. And when I was growing up, I know everybody knows. If they don't know by now, I don't care. They haven't listened to me enough. But I grew up in Alabama. Alabama didn't play everybody in the Southeastern Conference, even back when I was growing up, I mean, they didn't play Ole Miss, which was right next door for many years, when I was growing up. And Georgia kind of came and went on the schedule and stuff, but they always played Tennessee. They always played Auburn. They didn't always play LSU when I was growing up. So, but you've got to have at least 3 or 4 of those teams you play every year to make it feel like you're part of something.
Mm-hmm. No, you do. You absolutely do.
That's my opinion anyway.
I agree with you. And, Tim, I said I would have taken Stanford and Cal and have a whole wing out there. And then you play Friday nights with some of those teams and play 10:30 on a Saturday night with those teams. Like, I would have taken all of them. I think it's critical that we find a way back to some of the regional things that made the sport so special in some way, somehow. All right.
Well, real quick, Andy Geiger said that a long time ago. He goes, people don't understand. I mean, college football is college athletics is a regional endeavor. It really, truly is. How are you beating up are you beating up your neighbor every year? And if not, why not? But now when you're flying 5 hours and playing people, you care if you're Ohio State, but probably not if you're like Purdue.
No, probably not if you're Purdue. I made this statement Monday after watching the team, this Buckeye team on Saturday. I think this is the best team in the country right now, Tim, and I think it's got the highest ceiling. Do you have a problem with any of that?
No, I do not, because number one, this defense is going to get better and better. The depth that they've already developed on the defensive side of the ball, just like we got to talk to Tywan Malone this week, in our interview opportunities, and where he's come from, where he was a year ago, is it's crazy, but that's what college football should be all about, is guys who aren't quite there yet, but all of a sudden, boom, the light comes on. But just an example. But then offensively, they're going to get better. I mean, they've got a big-time running back coming online. You don't want to overstress a freshman running back by any stretch. You also want to make sure he's getting in on pass pro like he should. But Bo Jackson is a real thing, man. It's happening. And then the other two, C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples, they have their own roles to fill. But Bo Jackson clearly has made strides to, hey, look at me, right? And so, yes, this offense is going to get better.
Tim,
it's kind of crazy.
I thought Saturday at Washington was I guess it's the best way to put it as I can think of here. I think Matt Patricia has been so instrumental in what to me feels like an incredibly collaborative approach to defense. And it seems like, and they had a great defense. They've had great defenses under Knowles the last couple of years. But what I noticed was, especially up front, the way that they coached those guys up and game planned them to get upfield, but not to lose their gap soundness. There was no place for him to go. I thought it was just as dominant and as acutely smart a defensive line performance as I've seen around here in a long time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I might have mentioned it to you last Friday. Is the key word that was uttered in the pregame, like by Caleb Downs, was the word cage. We've got to cage. You got to cage that quarterback, meaning don't give him the easy escape routes. And they did that 90% of the time. And, nobody was going Alonzo Spellman on him and going, 18 yards up the field. You know what I mean? Right, guys, the defensive ends would go to get to a certain level. But I tell you what, Caden Curry did a great job of what I call smash and grab, where he would just blow up his guy several plays. He would blow up his guy and just go laterally down the line of scrimmage, to wherever the fire was. And that's what really precipitated his great game, his best game yet as a collegian. In pregame warm-ups, I was standing like 5, 8, 10 feet from him at times when they were down in the end zone, they're warming up, and he had a look about him, man. That was crazy. And the whole front four, which is really 7, 8 guys, had that look about them all day. And when those guys are playing well, that's what they had last year. When those guys are playing well, you can do a lot of things with their defense, not the least of which what you can do with Arvell Reese. I tell you, if there is a brush stroke that is definitely different from a year ago, it's the way Patricia and James Laurinaitis are sicking Arvell Reese on these offenses on occasion. And that's really fun to watch, because that guy, he's gone from unknown now to must get in the 2026 draft.
Well, and I talked about this earlier. You got to give our boy Threes quite a bit of credit on this. Like, they didn't know what to do with Sonny. They didn't know what to do with Arvell. I mean, they were Arvell was on the D line in scout team, and Sonny was a safety. And is he a D end? Like, what do you do with him? And Threes was like, I think I know what to do with him.
Yeah, sick him.
Yeah,
it's kind of like watching. It's kind of like watching that guy, a guy I like to watch on YouTube who has these retrievers, and he'll throw the ball about 50 yards away, and he'll just tell them both want to go get it, but you tell one to go get it, and they go get it.
Yeah, that's it.
and they're so attentive. But the thing about Arvell is it's his moment, and he's not overplaying his hand. He's not overrunning things. Kenyatta Jackson, for example. I mean, Damon Williams, Kenyatta Jackson had a great play on the edge where he just stood there and go, hey, I've got really long arms, and I'm going to stand right here and see where you go, and I'm going to go get you. You know, and it was like, wow, you know, he didn't try to get there. He wasn't impatient, and that's what this defense is just playing on a level, man. And that not to be said they can't be had, but I don't think he can be had 3 drives in a row. So if you follow my drift, and you know, this challenge this week now, you're going against the opposite kind of quarterback. You're going against the statue who's going to stand there for the most part and try to throw the ball. A guy from right there in downtown Fayetteville, Arkansas, that Arkansas didn't want. I bet Sam Pittman probably regrets that. But this Dre Glizzy guy can stand there. He's like 6'4", 6'5", big dude that just wants to throw the ball, which is a little bit of a departure from P.J. Fleck's offenses in the past. But, you know, the P.J. Fleck and the Jim Trussell thing, you know, take what you got and do what you can. And so this is a totally different challenge. But, Bo, I think this particular offense totally fits what this defense is all about. So we'll see on Saturday.
Well, what you just that's malleable, right? And that's what Patricia has brought. He brought that NFL approach to game plan specific each week.
Yep.
For the team we're playing. And I think that's the next level.
You and I were both, you know, we were both saying that. I mean, I told Ryan Day when the hiring first occurred, I really like this hiring, man, because it will enhance what they're already doing, where they've gotten to as a defensive staff. This guy just is enhancing it. I mean, you know, he travels around, you know, the defensive line group occasionally, pops his head in and gives them encouragement and tells them, you know, you can do this better, this better. It's always have to have 2 or 3 set of eyes. Good to have 2 or 3 set of eyes looking at things, but because he's seen it at the highest level, he's seen it executed at the highest level. And what if everybody's doing as the old Bill Belichick thing said, if everybody's doing their job, wow, you know, you got quite the machine going.
Yeah, and by the way, they replaced 8 starters. To just wait till you see what this thing looks like in November.
Exactly.
Good talking to you as always, buddy. We'll do it again next week.
Always a pleasure. You know that, Bo.
There he goes, the great Tim May, the Tim May Show on FanStreamSports.com, and, of course, right here on The Fan. You'll be able to listen to him tomorrow in advance of Ohio State and Minnesota. We'll do Thing or Not a Thing coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Finally, fall is here. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and the cooler temperatures are a welcome relief. But as those temperatures continue to drop, it's also a reminder that winter is just around the corner. We know it might feel a little early to start talking about freezing temperatures and snow, but now is the perfect time to make sure your roof is ready. Before the winter weather hits, wouldn't you like the peace of mind that your home is protected? If you're unsure about the condition of your roof or just want to be prepared for the months ahead, call the professionals you can trust at Newman Roofing. With over 30 years in business and 3 generations of Newmans in the roofing industry, we're dedicated to educating you about your roof so you understand exactly what's happening. We believe that an informed homeowner can make the very best decision for their needs. Give us at Newman Roofing a call today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Let Newman Roofing help you prepare for winter the right way.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
It's the Fall Super Sale at Valley Ford of Columbus. New Mustang EcoBoost and Mach-E, Escape Active, Bronco Sport, just $399 a month. F-150 and Explorer models, Bronco Big Bend, Mustang GT, only $499 a month. Lease all with 0 down and get a 2-year premium maintenance plan too, like Carnell Tate says.
The game-winning deal is always at Valley.
Keep on trucking with Valley Ford of Columbus.
All leases 36 months, all offers with approved credit. See Valley for details.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more benefits, more rewards. We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasoh.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas, Ohio.
Wake up and laugh with the Bob and Tom Show on the Fan 2.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 10.
It says here they've won 5 Marconi Awards. I can't even spell Marconi. The Fan 2, Columbus's home of the Bob and Tom Show.
More and more these days, people who are in pain are taking control of their health and looking beyond traditional medicine. Hey, it's Tyvis Powell. People just like you are finding lasting relief without steroids, medication, or surgery. Right here in Columbus at QC Kinetics. You'll be treated by highly regarded orthopedic surgeon Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sports Medicine. Here's how it works. Your blood contains tiny but mighty healing tools. At QC Kinetics, Dr. Tesner and his team get to the root of where your pain stems from, right down to the cells involved. By putting these natural elements to work, your body can revitalize your joints, literally using your own power to heal. It's a simple injection, not a hospital stay. It's fast, all natural, and there's no downtime. If your back, knees, or shoulders are keeping you from enjoying life, explore all your options before you agree to more pills or surgery. Find out if you're a good candidate. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a football Friday. Hit it, guys.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Happy 24th birthday to Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud. Houston's 1-3 and headed to Baltimore to battle the 1-3 Ravens Sunday at 1 o'clock. Speaking to reporters Thursday, Stroud was asked what he does to keep his body right.
Being 23, I'm not like fully in my grown man body all the way yet. You know, I'm still growing every year. And I just think like I gotta just continue to be hard on myself about not only just lifting weights but eating the right foods. Like that's been a big thing too. So yeah, that's just a thing where I think the explosiveness comes from like being better with my diet, being better with you know, stretching, and like I feel like I'm getting old. So I'm not as quick as I used to be. I was watching my high school stuff a couple days ago. I was like 180 and I was rolling. Well, not no more. But yeah, I try to just be better with that stuff so I can run fast.
Thing or not a thing?
Same, CJ, same.
Yeah. Plus 20 plus years. What led to this? Do you know? Like, what led to this line of questioning? Is there criticism that he's not as mobile as he needs to be in the pocket, or to be evasive with pressure? Like,
so it was discussions
like, what led to this
about the lack of explosive plays for the Texans offense and what they're doing to work on being more explosive. Is it having Stroud roll out of the pocket more? Is it Stroud being more mobile, but also recognizing that he's getting killed?
Well, here's the real problem with them. They're bad up front. They don't have anything on the perimeter outside of Nico Collins that's even remotely that you have to worry about. And they're not great at running back. So they don't have much offensive talent outside of him. And my concern for him is that this starts to create some bad habits. And I think we even saw that a little bit last year and maybe even at the start of this season. I hope that they get right at Baltimore for a lot of reasons. But this hasn't gone the way that I think we all thought it would after that first rookie season with CJ in Houston.
I mean, you got to do whatever you can behind that offensive line. And kind of worries me that the Browns are taking all of their cast-offs, right?
Yeah.
Cam Robinson, they just signed someone else to the practice squad, a guard that was with Houston previously. I mean, that's a good way to build your offensive line by going after one of the worst in football, the guys that couldn't even play there. But I think CJ's just fine. I just think this Texans team has regressed a little bit, right? And maybe they caught some people by surprise. They thought that they weren't nothing that year coming off of a year where they drafted number 2 in the draft. They had a nice draft that year. I think their division has gotten a little better, and I just think there's film on that team now that there wasn't that first year when they caught people by surprise. And that offensive line is gross. It's terrible.
Yeah.
On Thursday, ESPN's Dan Murphy reported that the NCAA's D1 Board of Directors adopted a couple of new NIL rule changes. Schools can no longer guarantee a player any money from a third-party NIL deal, either verbal or in writing, and all collective/booster deals must include a specific direct activation. It's a good question. Amanda Kristovich reported Thursday that at least 2 NIL collectives, one in the SEC, have begun to pay their players before the submitted deals have been approved by NIL Go, and that another is preparing to do so. Multiple major power conference collectives are giving up, trying to work through the NIL Go clearinghouse and within the bounds of the new rules set up by the House versus NCAA settlement. Thing or not a thing?
I just went cross-eyed, honestly. I mean, all of this stuff, it's all just one stupid half measure after another. They enact this stuff or they put it into rule or law. Nobody's there to enforce it. There's not. Here's the thing. You like a law, right? Well, what comes with law? Law enforcement. What comes with law enforcement? Penalty for breaking the law. See, we can do the part in college athletics of creating the laws. We're good at that. We don't have anybody to enforce it, and we don't have any penalties once you're caught. And we are so fearless right now of any sort of pushback or penalty or investigation that it's just Wild West. And I see none of that changing anytime soon because none of these people are serious people.
But what do you mean? They got 4 people at NIL Go that can go through all of these deals.
How many would you need? 4,000?
I was going to say at least 400.
Every program in the country has an NIL. Division 1, 2, 3. There's D3 basketball players getting NIL. A couple $100, $1,000 here or there, but they're getting it. Well, what are we talking about?
It's
4 dudes.
It's a good thing they initiated the snitch line because there's going to be people that are like, we're not dealing with this. We're just doing what we want anyway. Make them come get us. Like, we're trying to do things right, and we can't get it done. So we're just going to do it and deal with it later. So lawlessness is what we're going to have here, I believe, for quite some time until they can get this all figured out.
They also, I don't think, can afford to allow that number to go public because it feels like people, and I won't point fingers, might just call and report things that Baker's done in the office.
Oh, my God.
And just
please do that.
As if that's NIL.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
It's February, and he's wearing shorts. NIL Go, please do something
I did
about
do
this.
that.
I saw this from Ben Stevens, who appears a lot on the Bobby Carpenter Show, which you can see on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
The Diary of a Showgirl is Taylor Swift's newest album. Life of a Showgirl, excuse me, for all the Swifties, is out. It came out this morning. This from Ben Stevens. Taylor Swift's now released 9 studio albums during a full college football season. Only one FBS team has won a game after every prior Swift album. Ohio State.
Oh, boy.
Only one FBS team has lost a game after every prior Swift album. Purdue. Thing or not a thing?
If you're using Ohio State and Purdue, you could just say, fill-in-the-blank artist has released an album and the Buckeyes won the next day, and you'd be right 94% of the time. Conversely, you could say fill-in-the-blank artist release an album and Purdue loses, and you'd be right 86% of the time. So That just might be one of those statistical anomalies. I'm not a Swiftie. My kids aren't. I don't have any problem with her. I think she's great. Obviously aware that she's the biggest musical act on the planet by about 1,000 miles. It's just nothing that's ever really crossed over to me. I don't know if I know any more than maybe 2 or 3 songs she sings.
I'm going to have to get Dylan Gonzalez in here to see if this is a thing or not a thing.
He was up at 3 a.m. to listen to this.
There's something wrong with that kid.
God,
and hopefully getting ready for work? I mean, his show goes at 6.
I think he was listening to all this stuff. I don't know.
Who needs to put sound in? We've got Taylor Swift to listen to.
Is it good? Do people think it's good? Have you heard any early reviews? I'm sure all her people love it, right?
I know nothing.
Yeah, I know nothing.
Yeah,
that's it.
Not paying any attention
all
to
right.
it.
Bake may know nothing on Taylor Swift, but he knows picking the scores. Unbelievable 2-week stretch out of you. We will see if we can back to back coming up next. We attempt to know the scores. Final hour on a Football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener. Do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Dormar, you're kind of hero. When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
At Kroger Pharmacy, we make it easy to get flu, COVID, and RSV vaccines. They're available at no cost to you with most insurance plans. No appointment needed. And we're open weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. So come and visit us when it's most convenient for you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Vaccines subject to availability. No cost to you with most insurance plans. Check with your plan for eligibility. Restrictions and exclusions may apply. See site for details.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
When you need a mini excavator or a not so mini excavator, lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. With the largest rental fleet and hardest working equipment experts in Columbus, we can help you take a big step toward a mini excavator in one of 17 different sizes, from 2,000 to 18,000 pound machines, with 6 to 24 feet of reach and 5 to 15 feet digging depth. Though in the most rental locations, and it's no wonder the Columbus builders who are building Columbus lean on green. Sunbelt Rentals. Learn more at sunbeltrentals.com.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Skyline's new chicken chili is here. Now you can enjoy that legendary Skyline taste with a new protein option. Try Skyline's chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. Feeling good. It's Skyline time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
You've heard about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Yeah, that's an old one. My dad told that one to me. But when it's your real feet, it's not a game. It's awful. Hey, it's Anthony. I had pain in my feet and my lower back, so I went to the Good Feet store and got the support I needed in my shoes that changed the game for me. I went in and they personally fit me for arch supports that would be perfect for my feet. The fitting process is simple. They ask the right questions about exactly what I was experiencing and the lifestyle I want to be able to live. They professionally measured my feet and arch size, and before I knew it, I was wearing my new arch supports home. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put into all of my shoes. Get professionally fitted at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
You know me, when it comes to big moments like popping the question, I always say, I've got a guy. That guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
Thanks, Common Man. Right now, it's our fall bridal sale. Buy one, get one 50% off. Engagement rings, wedding bands, wedding jewelry. We've got it all.
If you want sparkle, you want quality, and you want to save big, trust me, I've got a guy.
That's me. Come see us at Worthington Jewelers.
Worthington Jewelers,
where Columbus gets engaged.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall. Looky here, guys. The Grove City Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest is back for year 3, Saturday, October 4th at American Nitro. I'm excited. We're talking cold beer, killer wings, live music all day, football on the big screen. It all supports Ghosts of War, helping veterans in need. So veterans and military, you're in free, baby. Get your tickets at americannitro.com/wingfest. Brought to you by The Fan, Columbus Chamber, Martin Painting, T-Mobile, and Greenscapes. Wingfest, flavor, fun, and football. What more do you need?
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 1 Ohio State hosts Minnesota tomorrow night at 7:30. Buckeyes are 23.5-point favorites and haven't lost to the Gophers since 2000. We'll have that game on The Fan with coverage starting tomorrow at noon. Ohio State's at number 22 Illinois next Saturday for a big noon kick from Champaign. In the NFL, on the field tonight in college football, number 23 BYU looks to go 5-0, hosting West Virginia at 10:30. Tonight's week 7 of the high school football season. UA 6-0 and will play at 3-3 Olentangy Liberty. Hear that one on The Fan with coverage at 6:30. In the NFL last night, the 49ers improved to 3-1 with a 26-23 win over the LA Rams. Week 5 in the league continues Sunday in London. The Browns are going to start Dylan Gabriel against Carson Wentz and the Vikings at 9:30. This update sponsored by Green & Sons, family owned and operated for 45 years. Find your next Kubota tractor at Green & Sons, located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville in Raymond.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. Final hour here on a Football Friday. Doug Lesmeries coming up in 28 minutes from now. Time right now to know the scores.
It's time for Know the Scores on Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Buckeye Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Baker, do you know which one you missed last week?
I do. It was the LSU Ole Miss game. That was the one that I missed.
10-1 in week 5 of the college football season. You want to put your kids through college and not really have to work that hard. I guess just listen to Baker, who's 37-17 overall.
Jeez. This early.
Yeah.
It's been a decent first half here, boys. The wheels could fall off at any moment, though.
I was excited. 7-4. I'm like, I'll take it.
It's a great week, Bo.
Solid, but geez.
I had wondered, because I don't think we picked, or I don't think we got Indiana, who was -6.5 at kick. And I don't think the Fernando Mendoza odd safety, which made it a 5-point Hoosiers win, affected this program. But I know across the country that was what had happened for people taking Indiana. They are not one of the games we're picking today because they're off.
Yeah, we had I had Iowa covering, so did you, right?
Yeah.
And it was at 8.5 when we had it.
Yep, correct.
Start tomorrow at noon in the Big House. Number 20 Michigan is a 17.5-point favorite hosting Wisconsin.
Reese, real quick, what am I now? Do you have mine now?
Overall, I do not.
Okay. So I know it's 6-4 2 weeks ago. I have it all written down, 7-4 last week. So not in Baker's elevated territory, but close. This is a brutal week. I'm just going to say it right now. A lot of these I don't like the look of, so but perhaps do the opposite. This is just the reality of this situation, though, and it pains me to do this. I think Michigan is getting better and better each week. Sharon Moore is back. They can run it. And I think they're going to see Luke on the other side, and I think they're going to want to bury him a little bit. And I think Wisconsin is just wildly incompetent. I got Michigan winning this one pretty easily, 31-7.
So I'm kind of in the same realm with you. I do think if Luke is going to get his guys up for a game, it's this one. This number seems pretty darn close to me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Michigan winning by 17. So that means Iowa covers 31-14 Wolverines.
Holy smokes. Yeah, it feels like that. There's no scenario where Michigan loses or I don't even see any scenario where it's close, honestly.
In Chapel Hill tomorrow at noon, North Carolina is a 14.5-point home dog to Clemson.
Clemson and Dabo are dead to me. They have made me look like a fool this year, and I do not like it at all. Listen, North Carolina's terrible, but Clemson only beat Troy by 11, and they had to come from behind to do so. Clemson 27, North Carolina 14.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if this was the NFL, if I was doing NFL picks on this, I would look at this and say somebody knows something. How is Clemson 2+ touchdowns better than anybody? Have you watched college football? The line doesn't make sense. As bad as Carolina is, it doesn't make sense. But you can't do that with college football because nothing makes sense in college football. And I just keep coming back to the notion that there's no way that Clemson is that much better than anybody. So I'm with you. They win, but I think it's competitive. And I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina made it really competitive. I got Clemson winning 21-18.
Ooh. 3:30 Saturday in Los Angeles, UCLA hosts Penn State. The 7th-ranked Nittany Lions are 24.5-point favorites.
Well, I have a question for you. Is UCLA ranked in the top 10 in the country?
They are far from that.
Yeah, it's
okay.
about
I just was curious. Yeah, I was just curious. Penn State 49, UCLA 7.
Listen, I feel like I learned a lot about Penn State last week. This is a good football team. Their coach just can't get it done in the end, it seems like. I was impressed that they came from behind and got that game to overtime. I thought when Oregon got up 2 scores, that was lights out.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA is just really, really bad. I might be giving UCLA too much credit here with 13 points, but I got Penn State 41-13.
We're in L.A.
3:30 in College Park tomorrow. Washington is a 6.5-point road favorite against Maryland.
So Maryland has been playing some really good defense this year. They're sitting there at 4-0. I don't think they've really played anyone yet. I feel like if this was a neutral site game, that Washington wins by 2 scores, by 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
But they're making the trip west to east, which is always harder, and a little come down off of that Ohio State game. But Washington still covers, I think. It's 31-23.
Yeah, I think you and I see this one almost exactly the same, except different, unfortunately. So if you're out there listening, go with Bake because he's killing it right now. I like Washington winning too, but I think Maryland's really frisky. I think if you're Coach Fish, you're at Washington, survive in advance. Just get through it somehow. I think they will, but I think it's close, 27-24.
3:30 in the Swamp. Number 9 Texas is a 5.5-point road favorite at Florida.
I don't understand this one. I don't understand it. I think Florida's trash. I think this number should be a little bit bigger. I think Texas's defense alone ought to be able to handle this and take care of their business. I think Legway will throw it to them a bunch. I don't think there's anything magical left in the Swamp at all. I got Texas winning this one. I think it'll be a little sluggish, but not quite as sluggish as the scores would lead you to believe. I got Texas winning this one 24-14.
Gosh, it's crazy how close we are on this, Bo. I didn't understand Florida before the year. I didn't understand DJ Lagway before the year, and they have done nothing but show that they are incompetent on offensive side of the football, at least. Texas has a lot of questions on the offensive side, but that defense is so damn good. I might be giving Florida too many points here as well. I've got Texas 27-17. This line makes no sense. That's probably why I have it as close as I do.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Clemson one. It doesn't make sense to have it that way. I'll tell you this too, from the Texas side, they lost here in the opener, and nobody's seen them in a month. I mean, quite literally, they went San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, bye. That's what they did. No one has any idea what they are. Haven't seen them in a month.
3:30 tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. Theo Vaughn's the guest picker of this game for some reason on College Game Day. But number 10 Alabama is an 11.5-point home favorite hosting number 16 Vanderbilt.
So it wouldn't surprise me if Alabama wins this game like 56-9 because they are angry about last year and they're tired of hearing that. I do think Georgia, that game last week, probably took a lot out of them. And I think Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia are okay. They're not going to cover this one, though. Bama wins 34-20.
Man, I'm right with you. I got Bama just on the cover as well. I got Bama winning at 28-14.
3:30 in South Bend tomorrow. Number 21 Notre Dame is a 20.5-point home favorite hosting Boise State.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you're really telling me if you're an Irish fan that you'd rather do this than play Michigan State? You'd rather play this type of game? I mean, what are we doing? This is not the Boise State of your youth. It's not. I just think that number is a little too frisky for me. I wish so much it was 21.5. I really do wish it was 21.5. The Irish are going to win, but I think it's a little frisky. Give me Notre Dame. Pay attention to the scores. 37-17.
So I think Notre Dame is a pretty good team besides their 2 losses, but I think Boise State's better than that opening season loss for them has us thinking they are. 20.5's too big. Notre Dame 31, Boise State 21.
Here's an odd 4 o'clock game. Nebraska hosts Michigan State. The Cornhuskers are 11.5-point favorites.
Is this me? That's you, Vic.
I don't understand Nebraska. I don't get it. I didn't think that they were this team that some people thought they were, even with Raiola. I think this game is a shootout. Nebraska wins. Michigan State covers. I got it 38-35. I think this game is going to be a lot like Michigan State's game with Boston College.
Yeah, I'm with you on that as well. I think this one, a lot of points are scored. Nebraska plays no defense. Michigan State doesn't play much defense. It's just too much. I just don't trust Nebraska that much. I like Nebraska winning the game. I'm going to go Nebraska 71, Michigan State 68.
Woohoo, baby.
It's a game on FS1
Fireworks.
if you're interested. You shouldn't be interested. You'll be interested at 7:30 tomorrow night in Tallahassee. Number 18 Florida State hosts number 3 Miami. The Hurricanes, some wondering if the U is back, are 4.5-point road favorites.
I'm going all hard here. My buddies in Tallahassee need it in the worst way. I've never really liked Carson Beck anyway. Anytime you get a chance today to Cavender and you blow it as big as he does, I just can't possibly pick you to win. I think Miami's the better team, and it would not surprise me. And this one, as I admitted, is more with heart than it is with head. I like the Noles getting a win against the Canes, 21-20.
I've thought Florida State was fool's gold all along. Yeah, that win over Alabama, that was nice, but I just didn't trust it then. I don't trust it now. As I said earlier, though, Bo, I do respect this rivalry, and crazy things happen in rivalry games. Not too crazy in this one, though. Miami 31, Florida State 24.
7:30 tomorrow night in College Station. Number 6 Texas A&M is a 16.5-point home favorite against Mississippi State, Baker.
Mississippi State has scored some points this year. And they beat Arizona State earlier this year, and I think Arizona State is a pretty good team. I think Texas A&M is pretty good as well, but they're not 16.5 points good in this one. Texas A&M 38, Mississippi State 27.
Yeah, I hope we're seeing a lot of these very similarly, even from the scores and everything. Sometimes that makes you a little bit nervous. I hope it means that we're seeing things the right way. I'm with you on this. I mean, Texas A&M was at home last week against Auburn and won 16-10. I think Mississippi State is near the level of Auburn. I just don't think it's going to be a runaway. A&M wins 21, Mississippi State 14.
And we'll pick the Buckeyes and the Golden Gophers. Also a 7:30 kick tomorrow. We'll pick that game at the end of the program.
All right, there you go. As for your Buckeyes and Golden Gophers, that is your game on Saturday night. You're going to hear from some of the participants on that, including what Ryan Day likes out of Julian Sayin and what PJ Fleck sees in trying to stop Jeremiah Smith. We'll get to all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State athletics, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
October is Car Care Month. Visit your local AAA Tire and Auto Service location and save $40 on any repair of $150 or more. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Offer valid October 1st through October 31st. See store for details.
The Ohio State University Army ROTC isn't just a curriculum. It's more than just a path to a degree. For more than 150 years, we have been forging tomorrow's leaders. Here you will find your purpose, your mission, your ROTC family. At Ohio State, you're not just joining Army ROTC, you're stepping into a history of excellence that spans generations. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu. Buckeyes lead the way.
Realtors usually charge you 6% to sell your house, but not my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They take 1%. It's in the name. And this is full service. No shortcuts, no for sale by owner crapola. They do it all. Call 614-451-6616.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
We begin tonight with the breaking news.
ABC's David Muir, wherever news breaks.
From here in Tel Aviv, from the Ukraine-Poland border, traveling along Maui's western edge. From southern Madagascar.
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir, America's #1 newscast.
ABC News, America Strong. It's been a remarkable thing that we have all witnessed together in this country. A lot of joy out there. Just got to find it. This is David Muir, and I hope you'll join us tonight for ABC's World News Tonight.
Tonight at 6:30 on ABC6.
Good morning, Columbus. It's going to be a good day, and it's going to be big. With the biggest morning news team in Central Ohio, Good Day Columbus. The biggest news, weather, and traffic in town every day. Bringing you over 5 hours of breaking news, live reports, and continuing coverage, and stories that'll make you smile. First Warning Weather gets you ready for the day ahead, and Steer Clear Team Traffic will get you to work on time. Good Day Columbus, weekday mornings on ABC6. It's going to be a good day.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
The regular season is getting closer. A new goal, a new challenge, a new season. Blue Jackets hockey comes your way in 6 days. Proud to be your flagship home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and prevent storm damage. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports, ball, or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have sunshine in the forecast and dry conditions yet again. Mid to low 80s for us across central Ohio. And then for tonight, 50s and clear skies. For Saturday, Buckeyes football. Great weather for tailgating and throughout the game. Daytime highs topping out in the mid-80s with lots of sun. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Have you already started your tailgate? Us too. It's Football Friday.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, we'll take a look at the matchups between the Buckeyes and the Golden Gophers momentarily. Right now, though, hear this from Reese.
Yeah, you talked about that old that night game in old Columbus town. You got an early international game Sunday for Cleveland. You're going to be doing a lot of beers this weekend, but if you're not interested in feeling all of those beers Sunday or Monday morning, give my friends at Go Brewing a try. Go Brewing makes award-winning, non-alcoholic craft beer that actually tastes like beer. So many different styles to choose from, almost guaranteed to have an NA version of your favorite beer. My fridge is stocked with all kinds of beer, some that have alcohol and some that are NA. I'll be enjoying both this weekend. Confident I'll be 100% on Monday. Go Brewing is available at Kroger. You can find it in the beer aisle. Visit gobrewing.com/thefan for free beer. When you buy 2 6-packs of Go Brewing from Kroger, you'll get reimbursed for one of them. Again, gobrewing.com/thefan.
All right, there you go. This is a fun matchup. 7:30. It's at night. It's homecoming. All the things that go with it. We talk about nitpicking as Buckeye fans, trying to find something that's not all the way right. It's never come from me in regard to what's happening offensively, because I think we figured it out here on this program pretty early. What Ryan Day and Ohio State was up to, and that was win the surest way possible and make sure that you're as healthy as you can be in December and January, when the games matter the most. And in November, absolutely. Beginning of November, absolutely. So they only had 6 possessions last week against Washington. So what I noticed, though, is that the confidence in Julian is growing with each week. And I think what we saw in the second half really is the beginnings of what this team will be at its apex by the time we get to later in the season. Here's Coach Day on what he's seen from his young QB.
I thought he did a good job. I mean, the number one goal is to win. He took care of the football. Threw some really nice balls, was accurate again, did a nice job scrambling. Especially the one I bring up a lot is that third down. It was a veteran move. They were playing a certain coverage. In that coverage, guys were covered. It was 3rd and 17. He scampered down the sideline for another 10 yards, got us into field goal range. And we were able to make the kick, which at that point I think put us up 14 points. And that's really good football. And those are things that he's going to continue to learn on. And every time he's out there, he's learning more and more. And the other thing that I've said before that is encouraging about Julian is what he says that he's seeing is actually accurate, and so he's seeing it. He sees what goes on. He's very intelligent. He's getting stronger and stronger every day. So that's encouraging. And I think he's building confidence in himself, and I think his teammates are getting more and more confident with him behind the center.
Yeah, you can see all of those things happening. Speaking of behind the center, Luke Montgomery has been unbelievable this season. Here is Luke Montgomery on the edge that this offensive line is playing with.
Play through the whistle?
Yeah.
I didn't hear a whistle.
No,
I usually don't hear a whistle, so it's good that he didn't call a flag. But, we do that a lot. We're 4 to 6 A to B +2 here. We gotta find that edge, and we gotta just continue to drive people and put them in the dirt. And that's like a touchdown as an offensive lineman. So you feel good when you do that, when you got your guy on the ground.
I love that line there.
This offensive line, right? The whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like they've got a little nastiness to them. I think you have to, right, to be an offensive lineman. I can't remember the last time I heard an Ohio State offensive lineman say, put someone in the dirt. And if you listen to that whole interview with Luke Montgomery, he says put him in the dirt probably about 7 times. Austin Sareveld talks about not wanting to give up a pressure at all, and he hasn't yet as a left tackle. And we've already heard the stories about Phillip Daniels. I think we talked about Davis Igbinosun, and I've loved him even with some of the flaws since he came here, because I feel like he changed the attitude on the back end of the defense, maybe the whole defense, but on the back end, sure seems like Phillip Daniels has done that to the offensive line. And it just seems like if you get in a bar fight with these dudes, some bad dudes you don't want to be up against is this offensive line.
I think a lot of the guys from last year, I was talking about with some of the newer Ohio State, like the early enrollees, got to go on this playoff journey with the Buckeye team that were a bunch of guys you could say have that dog in them. And I made the phrase that he's teaching them, Will Howard, Jack Sawyer, teaching them how to dog. And you're seeing a lot of that this season. I also think Tyler Bowen has injected something into this unit. I mean, we were watching them at camp, and they were 10 feet away from us hitting a blocking sled. and they were all going at 10.
Oh, yeah.
This was something that they had cranked up at 10 day 2 into camp. And so I think there's a lot of ill will that these guys have toward their opponent, and that's like an every week thing, and you see it. But they're doing it in a way that's not getting them penalized at bad times.
Yeah, and I think that edge that Bake talked about is one that's really bleeds all the way through the roster, and part of the reason for that is guys had to wait to play. They had to wait to play. So that mentality, I think, has led to what we've gotten at the start of this season, which I think in anybody's estimation of what this team would be, they've exceeded it a month in. They're playing better. As we've said, they're the best team in the country, and they have the highest ceiling. So those two things usually work out pretty well. We haven't even really had, and it's crazy because he's great every single week, but we haven't even had like the 6 catches for 195, 3 touchdowns, Jeremiah Smith. You know that it's waiting there. Cardell Tate hasn't really been unleashed yet either because you haven't had to. But needless to say, coaches have to prepare for that. Here is PJ Fleck on Jeremiah Smith.
He's fabulous. He's a phenomenal football player. He can stretch the field vertically. He can work in the screen game. He can work underneath. He's got incredible control of his body in the air, on the ground. He's lightning quick, ultra fast, plays big. 50-50 balls are really not 50-50 balls. They're like 90-10 balls. You could tell that, everybody believes in him, and they got a lot of him around their football team. And it's a tremendous supporting cast that allow him to be the best player he can be. But he does it all. He's got great center of gravity, good contact balance when he does have the ball in his hands. He's got great vision. He's as good as advertised, that's for sure.
I love that tunnel screen they called against Washington last week. I just loved it. The timing of it, all of it. And if you just forget, like he's so big, he's so gifted, you forget that when he has the ball in his hands coming across the field, he's damn near impossible to tackle. So there's that part of it too. I'm curious what their approach will be. If you're nitpicking this Buckeye team, and this will be something we'll be watching for on Saturday night, and you mentioned this earlier, Bake, in terms of thinking it similarly to the way that you felt about the Ohio game. In the Ohio game, they couldn't put it in the paint on those first few drives, and it led to a score that was maybe not as close as that game would lead you to believe, because they drove right down there. They go for it on 4th down, don't get it. So then it's like, well, God, we're back down here again, 4th down. We got to kick field goals. Same thing happened at Washington last week. They went right down the field, bogged down in the 5-6 yard line, and then get stopped, and then you don't get kind of the separation that you're looking for. So I think one thing that Ryan Day will have as a point of emphasis this week for his offense will be to go down the field and put it in the paint right away. Get in there close and score a touchdown. That's got to be a point of emphasis, because the last 2 times out, they've failed to do so despite really successful drives. I'll be honest with you guys, defensively, I got no notes. I think this is a really tough spot for Minnesota offensively, trying to move it against this Buckeye defense, which is built for really any type of offense. I don't know how they're going to move the ball successfully at all.
Yeah, I think for the Buckeyes, it's important, I think, to get the ball first. I think you want to take a raucous crowd and kind of keep them involved. And that does involve scoring 7 on the opening drive. I keep thinking back to Julian. Minnesota's got Coy Parrish, the safety that can also play receiver. He'll be a weapon for the Gophers tomorrow. But outside of that, like, the talent's all on the side of the home team. And I think for Julian, a next step in his evolution for this would to be in situations where there is just goal to go and you see green in front of you, man, step up. Step up and in. I think for me, that's the last thing I'm waiting for Julian Sain. But I also understand if in meeting rooms the coach is like, no, go to the sideline, get out of bounds. Do not put yourself in that kind of harm when you're still, the first quarter of your season. But now as you kind of get into October, let's start to see some of those materialize into touchdowns or first downs or conversions that keep your offense on schedule.
I think he made a big step on that last week in that 3rd down against Washington, where he tucked it and gone and picked up the first down. Go ahead, Bick.
I was just going to say, back to your point on the defense, like, it's tough to row a boat in a storm, let alone a hurricane. And I think that's what Minnesota has coming for them. That's really, I was just thinking about it. Like, I don't know what offense there is in the country. Maybe Oregon, because they can throw it a little bit and run it some. Like
You
Penn
have to have
State,
talent equates.
Like Penn State, I don't know if they have. I don't know if Aller's good enough or if their receivers are good enough to throw the ball against
don't have a
Ohio
deep threat,
State.
no.
Yeah, so I don't know what offense in the country. Maybe Texas Tech. I don't. Do they?
Don't forget Texas. Like, if they get on track, Texas has the things that you would need.
Yeah, but we've
You got a
seen
mobile
it, right?
I know, but it was a tight game, and they'll get better too.
And
I
listen,
think it's Texas, it's Oregon, it's
Texas had 7 points, right? And
I
that was
know.
at the end. Like, I just don't know what offense.
Oregon's the best. You have to have
It
talent
has to
equates, and you have to have a mobile quarterback. Basically, you have to have a pro at quarterback, and you have to have a talent equate situation. So, where are those
Good luck.
places? Good luck is the long and short of it. Doug Lesmeries in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Parents, are your teens good with money? No. Switch to Huntington Bank and let's teach them. They get their own card, which they can add to their digital wallet, and you can monitor and set spending limits. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Oven-baked French toast, hot melty cheese, and meat, and meat, and meat. Introducing UDF's new 3-meat French toast sandwich, piled with bacon, sausage, and Canadian bacon. United Dairy Farmers, mornings made for you.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and it's party time, baby, because the Grove City Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest is back Saturday, October 4th at American Nitro. From noon to 9, you get wings, beer, live music, football on the big screen, and more. Don't miss the wing eating and bobbing for wings contest either. Ooh, veterans, military, and kids under 12 get in free. Get the tickets at AmericanNitro.com/wingfest. Presented to you by The Fan, Columbus Chamber, Brex Paving, Darby Dental, and Equipment Rental. Wingfest 2025, the ultimate fall kickoff. Don't miss it.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store today. Walk-ins are always welcome. Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your friend with the truck.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
All our people are in uniforms.
And our trucks are clean and shiny.
And big.
We leave spaces empty and clean.
For you.
1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is. Time to get smarter on a Friday edition of the program. We had it on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Conversation with our good buddy Doug Lesmeries. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube, Substack, Bill and Doug on Ohio State football. You can see it all there and hear it all there and read it all there. Ohio State, in my estimation, best team in the country, highest ceiling in the country. Do you have any problem with that?
No, because I think they're doing what they want to do, but there's still more there, right? And so I think I've used the word maturity a lot for this way, the way this team has played. I think the collection defensively has shown that. I think Ryan Day and Brian Hartline, their patience on offense has shown that. And then I think you're still kind of realizing if and when they want to unleash Jeremiah Smith fully, unleash Carnell Tate fully, unleash Julian Sayin fully, that's all there, right? So Miami, both sides of the ball, up front, defensive line, offensive line, may have something to say about that. Dante Moore in Oregon may have something to say about that. But I would say, yes, Ohio State's at the top of that list.
Doug, you know what? I'm slower than you, so I picked up on this maybe a little bit later than I'm sure you did. But something occurred to me in the Washington game where Ohio State just had 6 possessions offensively, and it occurred to me, oh, Ryan's taking an NFL approach. We used to always say, bing, bong, bong. Remember? You're fired, Ed, down the field, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Yep. He's not into that anymore. He's playing the long game. He is trying to keep a team healthy for December and January. And when that defense is playing that well, he's not trying to unleash all of it. He's trying to just give you what he needs to get a win. And I think it's a brilliant strategy, one we're all going to have to get a little bit used to because it's not what we're used to around here. But he's given you what he needs to get a win, and it's a philosophical change to what we're used to in college football. I'm sure you picked up on this 3 weeks ago, but that's what I've noticed in the last first month of this season.
Yeah. So I don't want to be too risque, but so they're still recruiting the best players in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I referred to it this week as urban on the streets, trestle in the sheets. Like you go out and you get the best players, but then when it's game time, you play with calm precision and you play complementary football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I like about it the most is that it's not what he actually wants to do. He wants to score 70.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of my favorite things when head coaches and programs do the opposite of what they want to do because they think it's the thing they should do. They think it's the best way to win. They think it's the best way to get through a season. And so he will never stop being the guy who doodles plays on napkins and wants to drop 70 on you. But that is not what he thinks is the best way for Ohio State to repeat as national champs. And I like that a lot.
It's not needed. And he sees it.
It's not needed, and it's not smart.
Mm-mm.
It's not the long game. He's thinking the long game, right?
Yeah.
So I think you have to admire it. But to your point, we all have to get used to it, right? There's a patience there. Like, I don't want to say boring, but like a patience. It's like it's methodical, right? And so that idea, I don't know. You might want to bet a lot of unders on Ohio State this year.
That's what I think. Yeah, and I think that's the way it's going to go for a while. And I think the best that this team is going to be down the line. The defense is lights out as it is right now. I don't know what people are going to do with that defense going forward. Let's go around the Big Ten. You in the last few years, obviously, you've cast a wider net on some of these programs, and you've been around the Penn State program a lot. It'll be a talent equates game when they come over here in early November. But James Franklin doesn't win those type of games. He had one in his building last week. They fought back, but he didn't win it.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen what do you make of the circumstances with him over there? And from the Penn State perspective, what do you do, if anything?
So two things. One thing from the Oregon perspective, that's the 2014 Ohio State double overtime win at Penn State. Both were 17-17 at the end of regulation. And so, like, for Oregon, that was kind of the game that, kind of gave Ohio State the national title push. Oregon just played that exact game. Keep an eye on that.
Yep.
The second thing is they had four. So I've compared it to Ohio State trying to elevate at quarterback after JT Barrett. Like, JT is a winner. He's tough. He's a grinder. But he's like he's a runner, right? And then but here comes Ryan Day, and now you want more than that at Ohio State. And you get Haskins, Fields, Stroud, Sand, right? It elevates. Trace McSorley was their version of that, and I think they wanted to elevate past that. But they've gotten 4 years of Sean Clifford and 3 years of Drew Aller, and they're more NFL-style guys, but they haven't elevated to win the big game quarterbacks. And so I don't know if they should go back to a more mobile quarterback like Trace McSorley plus, who maybe that's what Bo Prabula was if they would have kept him, right? Is it something in quarterback development? Because in the end, is it like James Franklin, the buck stops with him, but I don't know that there's game management stuff that I was like, it's Drew Aller, the last two games, Notre Dame in the semifinal, Oregon that game on the national stage, he threw a pick to end the game. Both times, kind of inexplicable picks, and he's a third-year starter. So I think there's something with the quarterback play, but it's quarterback development. It's matching the quarterback to the offensive system where they're short right now. Ohio State tried to grow at quarterback, and it worked. Penn State, I think, has tried to do the same thing, and it really kind of hasn't worked.
No, and a lot of stuff. You mentioned the 2014 game. Christian Hackenberg was quarterbacking that Penn State team that night over in Happy Valley. I was there too. I remember it very, very well. And he had a lot of similar accolades to Aller and never really got there. Just never really did, and that's kind of what it feels like there. Yeah, I think Ohio State and Oregon are the two best teams in the country. I'm curious to see what Miami does this weekend, and maybe I'll put them in that category, but I think those are the two best, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks. I'm not sure it's particularly close. I think everybody else has major flaws. Well, I think you had a better read on Miami after they play Florida State this weekend, but those two Big Ten powerhouses, Doug, to me, have separated from everybody else.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Isn't it great? God bless the Big Ten. And by the way, are we sure the SEC champs getting a bye in the playoff? Are we sure the SEC champs going to be one of the five best teams? Like, show me Miami, show me two Big Ten teams, show me like Texas Tech running through everybody, and I can show you the SEC champ as a 5 seed. The thing we have to be on alert for is like depth in the SEC, sure. Uncertainty, sure. Mediocrity, yes. We talk about Maction, right? Like Maction. That's exciting football. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good. I call it section. Just because an SEC game is close doesn't mean it's good. So let's continue to be on alert for that, because the SEC is going to try to push the fact that they don't have an Ohio State or an Oregon. They're going to push that as a positive, and it's not. And the thing that I would say to Penn State is, I think if there's any SEC team that was in there at Beaver Stadium on Saturday night, I think Penn State wins.
Yeah.
Like, they lost to Oregon. They lost to one of the two best teams in the country. So from that Penn State perspective, like, don't get too down on yourself, because I think you would have beaten Georgia or Bama or LSU or anybody else who would have come in there, because that Penn State defense is still good.
You covered Luke Fickell when he was here like I did. I don't recall if you had the hesitation I did when he went to Wisconsin. My hunch is you probably did. Have you looked at his schedule?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, like, I'm not sure. There are eight games left, 5 ranked teams, and the other 3 are good. I'm not sure they'd be favored in any of their remaining games.
How did this? I mean, he's got Michigan in the Big House this weekend. I'm sure that he'll get his guys playing the best they can, but I just see no scenario how this ends with anything other than him being fired. And I don't know how he gets to 4 wins this year, Doug.
No, and it's one of those things, again, like, isn't Wisconsin, Alabama the exact kind of game that we want in college football? Also, Luke Fickell is like, thanks a lot, schedule maker. You know what I really needed this year with that Big Ten schedule was a trip to Tuscaloosa. Right. So, I mean, to lose that home game against Maryland, there's fire Fickell chants in the stands. I don't even know, like, because then you get into buyout conversations and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if it's fired. I just don't know if it's like, you know what, like, this didn't work. We all acknowledge it. Like, I don't think Luke's a bad coach. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But the weird thing is, I actually thought cultural fit, so he didn't want to go to Michigan State. But like Wisconsin, Luke Fickell's not going to be an SEC head coach. If Luke Fickell's not the head coach at Ohio State, where's he the head coach? Like, Cincinnati was great, but if he wants to go above that, I thought Wisconsin made as much sense as anything.
No,
and it hasn't worked.
I think he could have done an SEC. I think he could have. I think it worked.
Ohio. He's so Midwest.
So was Saban, though. Like, you can.
But
you
so
can.
is
Urban's
Bielema,
from Ohio.
So is Bielema exploded. Like, I don't know.
That's at Arkansas. I think the difference between Luke and Bielema, and I think more similarly to Urban and Saban, is Luke could have had any job in the SEC that was open, coming out of what he did at Cincinnati. Like, he could have been the head coach at LSU. I think he would have been better than Brian Kelly at LSU. I don't know. It's a crazy one. Like, he probably was waiting on Notre Dame or Ohio State, and then he had that one team,
Marcus
and he
gets it right.
Yeah, his former assistant gets it. It's like, oh God.
Marcus is his right-hand man, and his right-hand man gets the Notre Dame job. So then, like, what do you do if you're Luke? I mean, just talking to Luke, I sat down with him, like, when he was thinking about leaving Ohio. It took him a long time to leave Ohio State to be a head coach, and they, like, the family fit, the cultural fit, like, really mattered to him and to Amy. And so, like, I thought Wisconsin made sense. And you know what? I thought taking a swing, changing the offense, I thought it made sense because they're good. They wanted to elevate to great. We have examples here of Penn State and Wisconsin. You are something, but you want to be more, and it didn't work. And, like, I think you look at Iowa. I look at Iowa, and I think it feels like Iowa's very content to be who it is. And it's like, well, don't you want to strive? And Iowa fans right now are looking like, see what happens when you strive? Look at Wisconsin. They were like the 3rd best team in the Big Ten, and now they're a wreck because they tried to bring in the air raid when they should have just kept recruiting 250-pound running backs and running behind that offensive line. Now they've lost their identity. So I like the swing, but it hasn't worked at all.
No.
So now what? So I'm curious what's next. And by the way, like, I thought like maybe Scott Satterfield would be on the hot seat at Cincinnati, and then maybe there's a Luke reunion. Cincinnati's playing Iowa State on Saturday in a game that has huge Big 12 race implications. If Cincinnati's favored at home against Iowa State, if they win, they are in the heart of the conversation to win the Big 12.
Yeah, it's crazy what happens in the sport. It's the best. Always good talking to you, buddy. We'll do it again soon. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you.
All right, there he goes, Doug Lesmeries, The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube, BillandDougOSU.substack.com as well. Time for 3 keys to a Buckeye victory coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Light Auto Glass. When you're watching film, both of a previous game as well as watching opponents, is that one of the most time-consuming things of your week?
Film, yeah. And you have to make sure that that's like where it all starts. You know, you have to make that your starting point, because sometimes it's easy to start going off on assumptions or start drawing things on the board. You got to go back to the film and get back and watch it. And there's times where you can watch it for 2 and 3 hours and you're still not sure what you're looking at. But if you just keep watching, eventually it'll come to you. And so I challenge our players all the time with, how much film do you need to be at your best? Is it 1 hour? Is it 5 hours? Is it 20 hours? Is it 100? Like, whatever it takes, you control how much film you watch. And it's a great tool to prepare ourselves to play well. And obviously we all know we film everything in practice to make sure that we're making adjustments. So, we're watching ourselves, but we're also watching our opponent as we prepare for games.
We'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Ryan, you mentioned watching film of practice during the week. Is that kind of another time challenge to make sure you're watching all that you need there as well as the stuff you're watching to get ready for Saturday?
Yeah, and that's the art of coaching and teaching, is making sure we identify what needs to get addressed. Are you showing them doing it right where you're building confidence, or are you making a correction on something that needs to be addressed? And then projecting the issues that may be coming. Here's some things we can anticipate in this game. Here's a contingency plan. But there's also, teamwork, there's group work, there's individual work. So there's never enough hours in the day to get it all done. But that's the job of a coach, and that's the job of the players.
Okay, there's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
When it comes to all-wheel drive vehicles, nobody gives you more to choose from than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry and the best-selling RAV4.
You've also got Toyota's 5 Brothers, which include the best-selling Tacoma and the legendary new 4Runner.
All-wheel drive gives you the traction you need for confident driving on any road, in any weather.
With 25 different all-wheel drive choices, there's only one thing you need to know.
Nobody knows all-wheel drive better than Toyota. Let's go places.
My girlfriend is vegan. Sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you that. I assume she's already told you.
Jimmy Carr is going back on tour with his brand new show, Jimmy Carr Laughs Funny, live at Southern Theater. First show sold out. Late show added on October 8th. Get tickets now at Kappa.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? At Giant Eagle, we're here because being part of the neighborhood matters. Because what we pick up at the store is what we bring into our lives. At Giant Eagle, we're always going for better to bring you the best. Because it matters.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed, it is. The Capital Florida Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Liberty Friday night. That's tonight. Defending one-state champs take on UA. Coverage at 6:30. The kick at 7. After the game, it's Byers, Subaru, Dublin's overtime with Bake and Lee. Friday nights are for right here at the Fan in high school football. Reese, what do you have in the poll?
Unbeaten, unblemished, undefeated Upper Arlington. Tonight, 6:30, the coverage on the Fan. The Daily Poll asks, what will be the result of tomorrow night's game between Ohio State and Minnesota? Your options: Buckeyes by 1 to 2 scores, Buckeyes by 3 scores, Buckeyes by 4 or more. Golden Gophers win. 58% say the Buckeyes are going to win by 3 scores. 27% say the Buckeyes by 4 or more. 12% say Buckeyes by 1 to 2 scores. And just 2% say the Golden Gophers are going to get the upset.
All right, there you go. Time for 3 things to a Buckeye victory. Hit it, fellas.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me, I think this one's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. The number one thing for me is first drive, go score. There's not much you can nitpick with this team, but they have been bogged down in the red zone a little bit. And I'm not talking about the red zone. I'm talking deep red zone, like inside the 10. And I know it's driving Ryan nuts, and I know it's driving his offensive staff nuts. So on that first drive, tomorrow night at the Shoe, go down the field and put it in the paint the surest way possible. My guess is they've worked it all week. My guess is they have answers to the test. But I think it's important to start the game with momentum because then it changes the way you coach the game a little bit. So score a touchdown first time out, or at least the first drive you get into that deep red zone, put it in the paint.
First thing for me, continue with 0 offensive turnovers. They had a punt return fumble last week in the game against Washington, but keep it clean. 5 penalties for 60 yards the Buckeyes had against the Huskies, but none in key situations that really affected the game. I want to see less than 5 penalties tomorrow against the Golden Gophers, and you just build from there. It just gets cleaner and cleaner and cleaner the walk up toward November 1st.
It sure seems like the Buckeyes have been in cruise control. And if there's a couple times where you want to step on the gas and open it up a little bit Saturday night, I'm okay with that. But for the most part, just keep doing what you've been doing. Minnesota, they're not going to beat you. You can only lose this game, so just continue doing what you're doing.
Number 2 for me, I am seriously concerned for the health and well-being of Drake Lindsay. I really don't know what he's... how's he getting out of this thing alive? I mean, that defensive front, those linebackers, that back end, they don't really have anything to speak of at all that's fearful in the ground game. They're going to have to beat you throwing it. Ohio State turns you one-dimensional, and it is feast. It is a feast at the quarterback, and I think that's what's coming tomorrow night. I don't really know. PJ will have him prepared. I got a ton of respect for him and the way that he prepares a team, and I think he's hitting his head up against the ceiling of what you can get done at Minnesota. But this matchup is just a really bad one in terms of Minnesota's offense against this Buckeye defense. I don't know what offense in the country that I'd give a snowball's chance in hell. Maybe Oregon's. Certainly not this one. So that guy's just... I hope he gets out of there okay and healthy because I think it's going to be a long, long Saturday night for him with that Buckeye defense bearing down.
Second thing for me, don't fall for it. I think Minnesota is going to try to pull out everything in their playbook. Yeah. So Coy Parrish, that weapon that they've got, who's playing safety, but he's returning punts. I expect him in a couple of offensive sets tomorrow. Just don't get fooled by it.
And I'm sure Ohio State's well aware of him because they were thick on the recruiting trail with him, wanting to get him to be a Buckeye. My second thing, Bo, it's scary how similar it is to yours. That might be the best defensive line performance as a whole we've seen in a decade here at Ohio State. I want to see more of that. I want to see more of Caden Curry wreaking havoc. I want to see more of the smart play from Kenyatta Jackson. I want to see Tywan Malone and Caden McDonald continue to do what they're doing. Man, that defensive line last week was impressive. I'd love to see another performance like that.
All right, number 3 for me. Do you guys know who the quarterback at California is?
Some freshman that was a crazy name.
Keawe Sagapulutele.
Nailed it. What a job out of Reese. Apex job out of you nailing that.
It isn't Devin Brown.
It ain't Devin Brown. Here's what he did to Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. True freshman. No Jeremiah Smith, no Carnell Tate, no Bo Jackson, no Max Clare, none of those weapons. He went 24 of 38 for 279 and 3 scores and no picks. Julian, time to eat, baby. It's time to eat.
Yeah, it's so weird. That Cal team, they beat Minnesota the way they do, and then they go out and get shut out by San Diego State. It's strange, but that's kind of what we love about college football. Bono's RB1 is what I have written down for my third and final thing. Let's stop trying this. He's the clear bell cow back for this Buckeye offense. I think you need to give him as many carries as you gave him last week, but when you're like at the goal line, let him punch it in.
Final thing for me, we haven't really seen a third receiver yet this year, and we probably saw Brandon Ennis as much as we had this year last year. I'd like to see the young guys a little bit on the outside. I'd like to see Quincy Porter. I'd like to see Mylan Graham a little bit, see what they've got, see if maybe we can find a third receiver. And listen, if that's Brandon Ennis, I'm okay with that too. I just haven't seen it yet from him. I'd like to find that out. And I bring those names up because I think they're going to have a chance to get into this game late. I mentioned I see this game quite score-wise similar to the Ohio game. I see it a little different, though, because that Ohio game was kind of in, not question, but it was closer till the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter. I don't think this one is. I think Ohio State will take care of business a little earlier. I've got the Buckeyes winning 38-7 on Saturday night.
I have Ohio State 34-9. If you're picking it at 24.5, pay attention to the scores.
Yeah, I can't really. I wrote down 38-7 too. That's why I laughed when you did that, Bake. I just don't see any scenario where Minnesota. I don't see scenario for success. I just think they're going to get swallowed. They don't even have some of the dual threat stuff that Ohio had. I think they're going to get swallowed. I think it's going to be an easy Saturday. And I think the Buckeyes want it to be. I think you're going to see a dominant performance. Enjoy homecoming. Enjoy a Saturday night in the shoe. There's nothing quite like it. We're back Monday to break it all down. Rothman and Ice coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.